My life felt like it was going up and down all the time. One moment, my wife was leaving me to be with another man, and the next, I was sharing a kiss with an amazing woman named May. One moment, I had no home, and the next, I was living in a lovely old house. But through it all, Sam was excited about my growing relationship with May. I hadn't thought much about what would happen when May's time in the city was over. Still, it was clear there was something special between us, something more than just friendship. After my third date with May, I walked into work with a bounce in my step. Sam noticed right away and practically cornered me in my office. She wanted to hear every detail, so I told her everything, including a small issue we had that morning. I appreciated that she cared about all parts of my time with May. "Am I being foolish about this?" I asked her. "What if it all goes wrong? I really want to believe that she cares for me as much as I do for her, but I feel like there's a part of her life that I just can't fit into." I ran my fingers through my hair and leaned back in my chair. "At least that's how it seems. Her managers definitely think so." Sam sat on the edge of my desk, adjusting her position. She played with her dark hair for a moment before saying, "First of all, forget what the managers say. They seem selfish and not worth your time. I wouldn't listen to anything they say." I chuckled. Sam had a way with words. "True, but their comments still get to me." I tapped the side of my head. "Even if they're not true, they linger and add to my worries. Maybe you need to focus on something much better." "May," she said with a smile. "It's strange calling Maeve White May. It's like I know her personally. For me, it's the opposite. Maeve White is a famous singer I don't really know, while May is always on my mind." "Oh, you're so sweet." She pinched my cheek playfully. "You two need to have a talk soon. It's clear you have feelings for her, and it sounds like she feels the same. The question is whether to do it now or wait a little longer." "What would you do?" "I'd probably wait. You haven't known each other long, and you're both excited right now. Maybe after a bit more time, you'll have a clearer view of things." "If I haven't said it already, you're very wise, Sam. With you and Marie supporting me, I feel lucky." "Yes, you should feel grateful," she chirped. "Thank you, I really do. And just know you can talk to me if you ever need to. I might not have all the answers, but I'll always try to help." Her smile turned slightly serious, and I felt uneasy that I might have upset her. "Is everything okay?" I asked. She looked like she wanted to say more, but then shook her head. "No, it's nothing. I should get back to work." She jumped off my desk and left my office quickly. I felt concerned about her, but wasn't sure how to help. I decided to keep an eye on her and bring it up later. I finished work, spent a little time with my kids, and then dropped Marie off at her job. I hadn't heard from May all day, but I thought it was probably because of her interviews and other things that busy people do. I was about to enjoy some of Marie's homemade lasagna when my phone rang and I saw May's name on the screen. My heart raced, and I picked up, trying to keep my voice steady as I said hello. "Jim," May's cheerful voice came through. "Sorry I haven't messaged. Today has been busy, to say the least." "That's okay. I figured you were occupied. Is everything all right? Do you need anything?" "Well, actually I do. Can I use the gym tonight? It'll be done performing by 10, but I can come right after." I tried to push aside thoughts of our last outing together. "Sure, that works. Do you want me to pick you up?" "That would be great. Can I meet you at the entrance to the park?" she added with a smile in her voice. "I don't have anything planned for tomorrow either." "So I won't wake up to you in a mad rush?" She laughed. "Yes, exactly. Do you have plans for tomorrow?" "No, I'm off for the weekend. I thought I'd start cleaning the house, but—" "Yes!" May exclaimed. "Oh, please let me help. I'm not sure why you'd want to take on work, but sure, I'll have food ready for us." "Don't worry. I'm sure you'll find a way to thank me for my help," she said playfully. I swallowed hard and responded, "It's a date." "I'll see you at the park after your show." I parked my car at the entrance of the park, and it looked like a scene straight out of a movie. Thousands of people were leaving the stadium, moving through the park like a crowd in a daze. I couldn't see anyone without their head bent over their phones. They were so focused on their screens that they didn't notice the beauty of the park around them. It hit me that May was coming to meet me here, and she would be in plain sight of many fans who had just seen her perform. As I was about to call her, a woman in a jacket and a cap suddenly opened my door and jumped into the passenger seat. "Whoa!" May looked up at me from under her cap. "Hurry, drive," she said quickly. Feeling confused, I started the car and carefully made my way through the crowd. May kept her head down, hiding her face. If anyone looked inside, they'd just see a woman sitting low in the seat. "Are you okay?" I asked as I drove, trying to avoid any bumps. "Yeah," she said, breathing heavily. "Nikki and Craig planned a lot of meetings with people for me, but I found a way to escape." I could hear a playful grin in her voice. "Aren't you worried about getting in trouble?" "Probably, but it's too late now. There was nothing in my contract about meeting fans, just the shows. They might get upset, but there's not much they can do." I chuckled. "I hope it doesn't cause you too many problems." "Wasn't it risky, walking through the park?" May peeked out the window and slowly sat up, still keeping her face mostly hidden. "It worked out perfectly. Everyone was too busy on their phones to notice a woman in a cap and jacket." "And what if someone notices you're missing? Won't they come looking for you?" Just then, May's phone started ringing. "Looks like we're about to find out," she said with a laugh. She didn't seem bothered about taking a break from her famous duties. If anything, she was more excited than usual. When she picked up the phone, I could hear an angry voice on the other end. It went on for a few minutes. At one point, May pulled the phone away from her ear, rolled her eyes, and mouthed, "Blah, blah, blah." When the call ended, she put the phone back and said, "Craig, I didn't have to do that meet and greet. You set it up and told me just before I was about to go on stage. I don't care what they think. It's your fault for not talking to me first. I won't be back at the hotel tonight or tomorrow. You'll see you before the performance on Saturday evening. You'll let Alfred know where to pick me up." She hung up and turned off her phone with a satisfied sigh. "You have no idea how good that feels." We stopped at a red light, so I leaned over and kissed her on the cheek. "You're really excited tonight." May quickly kissed me back, showing her sweet dimples. "Why wouldn't I be? I have a whole day with you and nothing to worry about until tomorrow night." Her joy was catching. I parked in my usual spot and was getting out of the car when I saw something that surprised me. "Oh no," I said. Sam's car was parked next to another car I didn't recognize, but I could guess who it belonged to. "What?" May asked, taking my hand. There's something I should tell you." I saw worry on her face, so I quickly added, "Oh, it's nothing bad, but—" "What? Is it about those cars?" "Yeah, you know, I've told you about Sam, my assistant. The pretty dark-haired girl? I remember her. Well, the other day I was late leaving the office and I kind of saw something I didn't expect to see in the spa." I looked at her closely. May looked confused for a moment, then her eyes widened. "Oh, like what we talked about?" "Yeah, with a woman. I was coming out of the changing rooms when I saw them in the hot tub, but thankfully they didn't notice me." May giggled. "You saw them? You sneaky?" She nudged me playfully. "Hey, in my defense, I had no idea what to do. I just accidentally saw one of my closest friends in a surprising situation. I didn't even know she liked women." "Does that matter?" "Not really. People can love who they love. I just wasn't expecting it." I nodded toward the cars. "So I think they might still be in the spa. Sam isn't expecting us." May's eyes sparkled with a mischievous idea. "Can we sneak in and see?" I've never seen anything like that in real life. I knew I shouldn't, but the thought of seeing them again with May was too tempting. Before I knew it, I was opening the side door and leading her through the gym. May was bubbling with excitement, but I felt a little nervous. What if Sam saw me? Was it wrong to look without her knowing? I should have talked to her about it first. We walked through the changing rooms and took off our jackets, changing into our gym clothes. I didn't hear anything yet, but the gym lights were off, so there was only one place Sam could be. "Okay, you have to be super quiet," I whispered as we approached the pool entrance. "Seriously, not a sound." May pretended to zip her lips and then kissed me on the cheek. Taking a deep breath, I opened the door to the pool slowly. A loud sound echoed as the door opened. May gasped and covered her mouth. She lowered her hand and whispered, "Oh my God." I nodded. and leaned in to try and see what was happening. I was tall enough to peek over May's shoulder. She peeked around the corner, her back against me, and then stopped suddenly. I leaned over to see Sam lying on her back next to the jacuzzi with a redhead beside her. Sam was holding the redhead's hair and guiding her head closer. "Do you like this?" she asked, playfully teasing. "Yes, I love making you happy," the redhead replied with excitement. "Do you want me to help you feel even better tonight?" "Yes, please." Sam moved her hips against the redhead's face. "That depends on how good you are. You better put some effort into it." The redhead eagerly followed, working harder at making Sam smile. May was captivated, and I noticed her breathing was quicker than usual. She was getting excited. I lightly touched her neck and she shivered, leaning back against me. She took my hand and guided it to her waist. I could feel the warmth and softness against my fingers. I carefully moved to help her feel good, and she responded with soft sounds, reaching back to touch me as she watched the scene unfold. Sam continued to move with energy. "Keep going, and don't stop," she urged. Sam's expression showed her enjoyment as she shifted her position. May was very responsive as my touch continued. In that moment, everything felt heightened. May's body shook a little, and I focused on how she felt. Sam was quite engaged, her pleasure evident. Then Sam noticed us and looked straight at us. Time felt like it stood still. May, still captivated, made soft sounds and Sam's eyes widened. She nodded and said, "Don't stop." The redhead, thinking it was her turn, adjusted her pace. Sam focused on May as I continued my gentle gestures. May was nearing a strong moment. Sam gasped, "I'm close." May took hold of the wall for balance when the wave of feelings hit her. At that instant, Sam also expressed her joy. It was a shared moment of connection. May leaned against me, overcoming with sensation, and Sam relaxed back, feeling spent. As reality returned to us, I said, "Let's go." I carefully led May to the changing room. She seemed a bit dazed, so I gathered our things and we slowly made our way to my car. I felt a bit unsteady and May seemed tired. We flopped down into the car, breathing heavily. "Wow," May said. "I can't believe what just happened. I feel a mix of embarrassment, excitement, and confusion." "I know. I feel all that too. Let's head back to Marie's house," I replied. Sam and I were about to have a very awkward talk on Monday. By the time we got to the house and made some hot chocolate, we had calmed down enough to think about what had happened. "Do you think she's going to be okay?" May asked, looking a bit anxious. I don't know what got into me. I saw them, and I really wanted to share that moment with you. I've never done anything like it before." I thought about Sam. She was bold and self-assured. But how would she feel about me watching while I was with May? "I'm not sure. I think she'll be all right. She didn't stop when she noticed us." May giggled. "No, she actually kept going." "That's true, maybe she liked it. I just hope it wasn't something she regrets now." "Maybe you should text her to say everything is okay." I chuckled. "What should I say?" "Oh, hi, Sam. Sorry about seeing you earlier while May and I were, you know." May laughed. "Give me your phone. I'll write a message and you can send it if you think it's fine." I unlocked my phone and slid it across the table. May picked it up and glanced at the background photo of Tommy and Emma. "They're lovely kids," she said softly. "How are they handling the divorce?" My stomach tightened. Of everything about the divorce, Tommy and Emma would be the most affected. Seeing May look at the kids filled me with guilt. Had I done enough for them? The answer was no. I had been too caught up in my own issues to focus on my little angels. I needed to change that. I took a deep breath. Tommy doesn't really get what's happening, but Emma is smart enough to understand. I think she knows more than I realize. I regret not spending more time with them since everything began. Between work, staying in a hotel, and not wanting to go back to the house, I haven't seen them as much as I should have. Do you think they'd come here once you're settled in? I bet they'd love to explore a house like this. Yeah, I'll talk to Linda and figure out a schedule to see them. She's keeping the house and most of the stuff in it. For me, it's filled with too many bad memories to visit. I guess I'll have to start fresh. I remember someone once told me that you're never too old to go after what you want, May said with a smile. Oh, really? Who told you that? They sound wise. He has his moments. May winked and said, Okay, let's handle the situation with Sam first, then we can plan the visits and organize our day tomorrow. I watched her focus on my phone. She looked really cute when she concentrated. Moments later, she had written a message. She smiled and said, Here, what do you think? She handed the phone back. I smiled as I read her message. Hi, Sam. Just wanted to send a quick note about what happened earlier. I hope you aren't worried or feeling odd. I'm sorry if May and I watching surprised you. I guess we were all taken aback. If you'd like to talk about it, I'm free all weekend. I wouldn't want it to affect our friendship. Jim X. I couldn't think of anything else to add, so I pressed send and hoped things with Sam would be okay. I would have felt worse if she hadn't caught us and responded so quickly. All right, May said, sounding serious. Your kids. I hope our dates haven't stopped you from seeing them. I shook my head. No, not at all. I usually see them when they're at my parents' place, and we typically visit when they'd be asleep anyway. I think I'll arrange to pick them up on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays each week, plus sometimes on weekends if it works out. Once we tidy this place up a bit, they can come here and start exploring. That sounds great. I didn't mean to plan things for you or invade your privacy. No worries. Honestly, I've been a bit out of sorts. My life was so simple and organized, and then everything changed all at once. I just need to find a new normal and get used to it. I'm talking to a lawyer on Monday to have the papers ready to send to Linda, which is a relief. May looked surprised. You're still married? Not really. I guess I am on paper, but we've been separated since the day after she left to be with someone else. To me, my marriage ended the moment she walked out. Does that bother you? She relaxed. No, not really. It's all happened so quickly. You know we were seen together at the hotel the other day, right? Yeah. Linda found out. She wasn't too pleased, but I reminded her that she was the one who left me. Whatever is going on between us has nothing to do with her. Even if I'd never met you, I would still be getting a divorce. And what about what's happening between us, Jim? I know how I feel, but I'm worried about scaring you. We don't know each other that well, but... May moved closer, resting her arms lightly on my shoulders and looking into my eyes. But, she asked, smiling hopefully, but I really like you. A lot. I don't want this to end. That must have been the right thing to say, because May kissed me softly. I like you too, she said, her eyes bright. She stepped back and asked, So what's the plan for tomorrow? I went to the fridge and took down the list of chores Marie had made. This is Marie's list of things I need to do around the house. Honestly, she's been nice to me. A lot of this will take hardly any time. The garden is the big job, but I plan to tackle that when the weather gets nicer. I handed May the list. She skimmed it and said, Well, why don't we pick a room and start there? It says to clean and tidy the downstairs rooms. What do you want to do? I want to completely redo them. I want to sand and polish the floors, fix the furniture, get the fireplace working, things like that. I want it to feel like it did when Marie was younger with Bob. That sounds like a wonderful idea. May took my hand, and we walked to the door. Okay, which room first? We had 3 options: the living room, the dining room, or the games room. The dining room was at the back of the house, far from the kitchen. It had a large wooden table with enough chairs for 10, old display cabinets, and tall glass doors between two windows that looked out at the garden. It was probably the easiest to tidy, but we would use it the least. The games room was at the front of the house next to the living room. Each had a bay window looking out onto the drive, both covered in dust. May walked slowly between them, admiring the old chess set in the games room and the big fireplace in the living room. She leaned over a table looking at an old record player when I said, "I think we should start with this room. The living room is the heart of the house." "Yes!" May clapped her hands together. "We can move the furniture into the games room for now, work on the living room, and then move everything back in once we've fixed it up." Sounds like a plan. Are you sure you do not mind helping with this? Jim, this is the most fun task I have had in a long time. Do you not love the old charm of this place? Can you not picture what it was like for Marie and Bob to raise a family here? I want to do it for her. And for the house. I mostly watched and listened as May talked with joy about the furniture. It was sweet to see how happy she got over small things. I found it hard to match the person chatting about an old sofa with a world-famous singer. The two sides in my mind did not fit together. I knew this was the real May, the one few people saw. But I felt mixed about her living in another world, one I did not fit in. My thoughts came back to May. She had her head in the fireplace, looking up the chimney. "I think you need to clean the chimney and check the roof before we start a fire. It should not be hard, though. If Bob kept the house well, he likely has the tools somewhere." She stood up and spun around with her arms out. "I am so happy," she said with a high voice. I laughed and picked her up in my arms. "I think we should leave this room before you start moving things." "I do want to start," May said. "Why? What did you plan?" I kissed her. "What was the last thing you said to me before you left this morning?" May turned red. I cannot remember." I tickled her and she laughed loud. "Ah, stop!" I kept going. "I am sure you can remember." She pulled away and ran to the hall. She was faster than I thought. She laughed with some fear as I chased her up the stairs and to my room. She jumped on the bed and tried to hide under the blankets. But I was fast, too. I jumped on her and held her arms with one hand. I tickled her with the other. She moved and turned. "Jim, please," she said. "Answer my question." Okay, she said. I stopped. We were both breathing hard but smiling big at each other. "So? What was it you said?" She turned red again. "You make me feel shy." "Aw, I thought I was the pure one." I leaned down and kissed her. I let her hands go so I could hold her close. "I am not pure," she said with a sad face. "Oh, yes? So what did you say?" She kissed me. Her eyes showed warmth. "I told you we would share a close moment," she said softly. I leaned down and touched her lips with mine. "And where should that be?" I asked in a low voice. "With me." We held each other close and shared a gentle moment. We lay side by side. She faced me. Her cheeks were pink. I ran my finger over her soft shape. It made her shake a bit. When I reached her side, she moved closer. I held her gently. She was warm. She held me too. We kept our eyes on each other as we felt close. After some time, May moved to her back. I moved near her. "Do we need to be careful?" I asked. She shook her head. "I am safe, and I know we are both fine. Besides, I need to feel close to you, Jim. Only you." I leaned down and we kissed. Her arms and legs wrapped around me, pulling me closer. We looked into each other's eyes. "Be with me, Jim," she whispered. Her grip tightened, drawing me in. We gazed at each other as we came together. I could feel her warmth enveloping me. She moved with me, and it felt incredible. Every sensation was heightened, and we began to move in sync. It was blissful. As we picked up the pace, her sounds became more intense. I felt a strong connection growing between us. Sweat beaded on her chest, and I could sense she was reaching a peak, yet I held back. I would pull away and then return to her depths gently. "Jim!" she called out, looking deeply into my eyes. "Jim, I focused on her, feeling the tension building. A tear slipped down her cheek. "Jim, don't stop!" she urged. "Let's finish together, May," I replied. The tension finally broke. She quivered with joy, and I felt a wave of pleasure sweep over me. We held each other tightly as we came down from the high, entering a calm space together. I rolled away and lay on my back, feeling a warmth beside me. I looked over to see her smiling. "It's tradition now," she joked. I laughed and opened my arms. She nestled under them, resting her head on my chest. "That was everything I dreamed it would be," she said, gently patting my chest. "It was," I agreed, kissing the top of her head and closing my eyes, thinking about what she might have wanted to say earlier. Warm sunlight streamed through the window, waking me from my restful sleep. During the night, May had turned to her side. My hand rested around her and I felt the urge to shift. When I tried to move, she stirred awake. She rolled onto her back and stretched, her hair tousled and eyes slightly puffy from sleep, but she looked lovely. She caught me looking and hid her face behind a pillow. "Don't look at me," she exclaimed. I gently pulled it away. "You're beautiful," I said, leaning in for a kiss. She smiled. "I don't feel it, but that was the best sleep I've ever had." I brushed a strand of hair from her face and kissed her forehead. "I need to pick Marie up from work. Will you be okay here?" She nodded, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Yes, I'll shower and get ready for our day." She clenched her fists in happiness. "I'm so excited." Her enthusiasm was contagious. I jumped out of bed to shower, and May's eyes went to me in a way that made me a bit uneasy. "Is there something I can help you with before you go?" she asked. I quickly replied, "Later. I don't want to be late for Marie. She is my #1 woman." May smiled at me with admiration. After a quick shower, thinking about the fun we had the night before, I gave May some light kisses on her face and dashed out the door to pick up Marie. I felt a rush of excitement to start on the house. When I arrived at the hotel, I saw Marie waiting for me. I jumped out and opened the door for her, even though she protested. "You spoil me too much, young man," she said as she settled into the car. I smiled and kissed her cheek. "Just making sure you're taken care of." I started the car, and as we drove away, Marie looked at me with narrowed eyes. "Someone's in a cheerful mood this morning. I bet we have a guest waiting for us when we get back to the house." "Ah, yes. Is that all right?" I asked. I felt a bit rude for bringing May over, even though Marie had suggested it. "Of course. I'm happy to see the house getting some use after all these years. It's good to know the beds are still in good shape," she joked. I quickly changed the subject. Discussing my personal life with a woman in her 70s wasn't something I wanted to do. "May offered to help out with the house today. Is that fine?" "More than fine. I'm sure she has some great ideas to brighten up the place." "Speaking of which," Marie said as she pulled out a bank card and slipped it into my pocket. "Before you say anything, I'm not taking it back. There's plenty on there, and I want you to use it for anything the house needs. That's the deal. I pay, and you work." I was driving, and my ears heard her loud enough, so I didn't argue. When we arrived at the house, I opened the door to the smell of something burning and distant shouting. "May!" I called out, looking for trouble. "In the kitchen!" she shouted back. I hurried through the house and burst into the kitchen, where smoke filled the air, but the windows were open. May sat in a chair, her eyes were red, and she looked embarrassed. "What happened?" I asked, rushing to her and giving her a comforting hug. "I wanted to make you and Marie breakfast for when you got back, but I'm not good at cooking and I burnt the bacon. Then there was lots of smoke, so I tried to put it out with water and it hissed," she said, looking down and sniffing. "Let's not dwell on that," Marie said, stepping in and holding May's face in her gentle hands. "You are lovely, dear, but you really don't need to cry." May sniffled. "I'm sorry, I just wanted to do something nice for you and Jim." Marie wiped her tears and smiled. "Well, why don't I show you how to cook? Then you can make us breakfast next time." "You do that?" "Of course. I assume you haven't had many chances to cook for yourself, and that's okay. It can be hard if nobody has shown you how." I can't remember the last time I cooked for myself. My parents weren't around much when I was growing up. Learning something new is never a waste of time. How about we start with eggs and bacon, and then I'll share my cookie recipe with you. If you're going to be staying here often, you can help me in the kitchen. Soon you'll be cooking meals too. You would really do that for me? Marie gently patted my cheek. Yes, dear. I enjoy cooking, and I think you will too once we start. A warm feeling filled my chest as I watched Marie work with May. I excused myself and began cleaning the living room while they cooked. It was tough work, dust and clutter everywhere from years of collected items. I emptied the shelves and started moving furniture into the game room. As I worked, the smell of bacon drifted through the house, making my stomach rumble. When the bacon was ready, May came over with a glass of orange juice, 2 bacon sandwiches, and a sweet kiss on the cheek. She looked so happy. Marie is amazing. You don't mind me cooking with her, do you? I feel bad leaving you to do this after saying I'd help. She hugged me and looked up at me with her beautiful eyes. I kissed her forehead. No, I'm glad you're having fun. Marie usually naps after breakfast, so I'll have you all to myself then. May smiled brightly. Yes, that's what she said. Okay, get back to work, my strong man. She squeezed my arms and gave me a quick kiss before going back to the kitchen. I enjoyed my bacon sandwich and orange juice, thinking about how May called me her man and how nice that felt. A little later, the smell of cookies filled the air, and I could hear May and Marie laughing in the kitchen, which made me smile. When they returned with a tray of warm cookies, I had just finished tidying up the room. I can't believe how big it is, May said, placing the cookies above the fireplace and spinning around happily. It's strange to see it empty after all these years, Marie added, glancing around. You know I just wanted it cleaned up, right? May slipped under my arm. Yes, but a house like this deserves more, don't you think? I agreed. I want to bring this house back to life for you, Marie. By the time I'm done, I hope this room will look like it did when you and Bob were younger. That would be lovely, but please don't overdo it. Remember, you have that bank card to buy what you need. Bob's tools are in a shed outside if you need anything else. I'll use the card, I replied, rolling my eyes playfully. Marie looked at us both and seemed to have a thought. Then she said, I need to sleep now, so I'll leave you two to it. May quickly hugged Marie. Thank you for this morning, it meant so much. Marie patted her cheek. It was nothing. If you're here tomorrow, we'll start on some nice pasta recipes. With that, she left for her room to sleep. She's a special lady, May said. That's why she's my number one, I replied, taking a bite of a cookie. These are wonderful. May smiled, proud. Thank you, my very first batch. And I hope not your last. Wow, I could enjoy these every day. After having a couple more cookies, we made our way to the shed filled with cobwebs. I had to clear some bushes to reach it, and the door creaked, but I got it open without too much trouble. Inside, I found all sorts of tools in great shape. I wasn't an expert, but I was pretty handy, having done a lot of repairs on my old house. May surprised me again by rolling up her sleeves and diving into the hard work. We used old chimney brushes to clean the chimney, which caused a little mess when a cloud of black soot filled the air. We had to open the windows, and it took us about 20 minutes to clear it all. By the time we were done, the chimney and fireplace were clean. I also thought it was cute when I noticed a few soot marks on May's face. Then we got rid of the old, faded rug that covered most of the hardwood floor and started sanding with Bob's old sander. After a quick lunch and some cookies with Marie, we took down the worn curtains and peeled off the old wallpaper from the walls. As we worked, it felt like fun with a best friend. We joked and laughed, sharing quick kisses throughout the day, simply because we liked being close. When we finally finished, the room was bare. We stepped back and felt a great sense of accomplishment that we both shared. May hugged me, and as we admired our work, she said, "That was amazing." She held up a strip of wallpaper we had saved. Next, we need to find more of this for the walls and then restore the floor. I'll pick up some supplies while you perform tonight. I've got to drop Marie off at work soon, so I'll take you both at the same time, I replied. May pouted. I don't want to leave you. I don't want you to go either, I said, meaning more than just for the evening. She hugged me and rested her head against my chest. It was a nice moment, but our friend downstairs interrupted it. May noticed and playfully commented, "I won't be responsible for what happens if you stand so close to me. Do we have enough time for a quick shower before we leave?" "Plenty. I'll race you," I said, playfully giving her a light squeeze. May stood on her tiptoes and kissed me, a long and sweet kiss that made me forget everything else. Playfulness took over as she suddenly dashed for the door. I was thankful that Marie was in her room getting ready, so I quickly followed after her, trying to catch up. May giggled as she ran down the hall and into my room. Inside, I caught her and we playfully tugged at each other's clothes. We shared laughter and kisses while we stripped down. May led me to the bathroom, and we stepped into the spacious shower that had an old-fashioned shower head. She closed the curtain behind us, creating our own little space. We turned on the water and waited for it to warm up, then stepped under the hot water, kissing and enjoying the moment. Everything felt nice, and we continued to connect beneath the water, relishing in the shared warmth. She let out a soft sound and opened her legs a bit more, encouraging me to move closer. I began using my fingers more quickly, pressing my hand gently as I did so. May let go and leaned back against the wall, lifting a leg to show herself to me completely. Seeing her there with water running over her took my breath away. She was truly beautiful. I continued to touch her more firmly. She closed her eyes and rested her head against the wall, one hand touching herself gently. Her body began to shake and she cried out softly. It seemed as if a wave of joy rushed through her. I slowly pulled back my fingers and May caught my hand. She brought it to her mouth, licking my fingers as if savoring every moment. I took her spot against the wall and May knelt in front of me, her hair draping down her back. She looked up at me with playful eyes. She took hold of me gently and began to tease me, kissing and moving down. She kept her gaze on me and followed with her lips. The feelings built up and I felt overwhelmed. I let out a loud sound as the sensations took over me. When it was over, she grinned at me, happy. We enjoyed the rest of the shower, washing each other and feeling close. I felt completely refreshed when we finished. Afterward, I dropped May back to her hotel and took Marie to work. Then I did some shopping. When I told Marie what I was going to buy, she quickly made a list of extra items for the house and food. I was grateful that the shops were open late on Saturday. I filled 2 carts with groceries and supplies for the living room, making sure to get bedsheets that weren't too bright. I emptied the bags when I got home, put everything in the right places, and had a quick snack. I called Linda to check in on the kids. Tommy excitedly told me about a big snail he found in the garden and a new toy sword that his mom had gotten him. He sounded happy, but it was hard to just hear his voice and not see him. My chat with Emma was tough. She asked me to come home and got upset about me being away. I was glad she couldn't see my tears while I tried to support her. In the end, she told me how much she missed me, and it broke my heart. After that, I had a short talk with Linda and planned to visit the house on Wednesday after work. By that time, I would have met with a lawyer and should have the necessary papers. Even though I missed my children dearly, knowing that I could soon start regular visits eased my heart a bit. Linda was nice, but we didn't talk for long. I think it was hard for both of us. With my tasks finished for the day, I had about an hour before I needed to pick up May. We had decided to meet at her hotel, and she told Craig, Alfred, and Nikki she would be staying with me, so they couldn't try to keep us apart at the last minute. I checked my phone for any messages from Sam, but there was nothing. A little worry settled in my stomach. Was she upset with me? Had I ruined our friendship? Looking back, I felt foolish for watching her closely. I tried calling, but she didn't answer, and my texts also went unanswered. I promised myself I would talk to her on Monday. Until it was time to pick up May, I moved around the house. The traffic was heavy on the way to her hotel, but thankfully it was all going the other way. When I arrived, I messaged her to let her know I was outside. Unfortunately, I found myself face to face with my 3 least favorite people. Taking a deep breath, I got out of the car. Alfred, Craig, Nikki, I greeted them. Craig, without holding back, stepped too close for my comfort and shouted, "Do you know how embarrassed you made me last night? Maeve was supposed to meet some very important people. You have no idea how much this cost me." I stepped back to give myself some space. May is an adult. She can make her own choices. You should think about that if you care about your relationship with her. Nikki jumped in to defend them. What do you know about her? We've helped her for over 10 years, made her a star. You think you know her better after a few weeks? Ha! Maybe I don't know her as long as you, but I've seen people like you before. You treat her like an object. What if she wants to be treated like a real person, not just a tool for making money? Nikki glared at me. You don't understand business. She has contracts with us. She'll never be yours. You're a temporary distraction, and once May leaves this place, you'll be forgotten. Craig stepped closer again. She might forget about you, but we won't. You've made a huge mistake. It's funny because I feel completely different. I looked past Craig to see May, glowing like a star. She carried a backpack and wore simple jeans and a hoodie, but she was the most beautiful sight to me. I realized then that it wasn't just her looks that struck me. It was who she was inside. I walked past Craig, intentionally bumping his shoulder. To my satisfaction, he wobbled, and Alfred had to steady him. May stifled a laugh and covered her mouth. Sorry, Craig, I said with a smirk. We'd better get going. I opened the door for May, waved goodbye to the three of them, then jumped in and drove off. I missed you, May said as soon as we turned the corner. It's only been a few hours. So? I still missed you. Did you not miss me? She pouted, and I found it hard to focus on the road. Yes, I missed you every second, I replied, taking her hand and squeezing it. She squeezed back and asked, What did Craig and Nikki want? Oh, the usual stuff. I mimicked them. Maeve embarrassed us. She's going to leave you. We own her, blah, blah, blah. I laughed, trying to make it seem less serious. Why do you do that? She asked, sounding a bit frustrated. Do what? Make fun of them and act like what they say isn't awful. They are really mean and treat you poorly, but you never say anything bad about them. I rubbed my neck. I think it's because I don't want to make things harder for you. I only know a little about your life, and I'm not aware of everything else. They seem to control a lot of it, and I wouldn't want to put you in a spot where you have to choose between them and me. Besides, if I acted like they do, how would that make me any better? She gently touched my cheek. You're truly amazing, Jim. Just to be clear, you could never be like them. It's not who you are. They're only thinking about themselves and how much money they can make from me. I know it's not my place to say, but if they're really that bad, why keep them? There are probably so many other agents who would do anything to work with you. That's part of the issue. There are. I get approached all the time by people trying to get into my life. It's why Nikki and Craig are so protective. I would have left them years ago, but they made me sign a long contract when I was younger. Back then, I was struggling and not famous. They came along, and that contract seemed like a dream come true. I thought it was too good to turn down, so I signed it. To be fair to them, they worked hard to help me get where I am now. The problem is, I've changed over the years, but they haven't. They only care about making money. Tours, albums, meet and greets, photo shoots. They don't care as long as it brings in cash. In the beginning, it felt amazing. Traveling the world, visiting exciting places, meeting wealthy people. She sighed with a hint of sadness. But it's also so empty. No one truly cares about you. They only care about your image, the photos on their social media. It's all fake and there's no real connection. It sounds silly, but I used to cry at night thinking I was becoming like them. Just an empty shell. It felt like there was nothing inside me anymore. I parked outside the house, but she didn't move. The moonlight came through the car window and lit up her face. Her sadness was strikingly beautiful. Her eyes sparkled like tiny gems, and her skin glowed softly. She turned to me, and small tears trickled down her cheeks. And then you came along, Jim. You didn't know who I was, and for the first time in a long time, I found a friend. She smiled. Do you remember what you said to me that night? I remember being mad. I might have told you to leave, I said shyly. May laughed. I remember every word. I had spat on your shoe, and you said, I don't know who you are, believe me. I really don't, but I don't care. I helped you tonight. I sat with you. I tried to be kind. And this is how you respond? Well, fine. Find your own way home. Back to those two guys. I'm leaving, and I hope I never see you again. She wiped her cheeks. No one had ever talked to me like that before. You changed everything for me. Suddenly, that empty space in my heart felt alive. I had to find you. It was a strong, maybe even selfish urge. You were the first person to see me as May, not Maeve. I felt ashamed of what I had done. She turned to face me completely, still holding my hand. So I found you at the gym. Once again, you treated me as May. I apologized, and you said not to worry. You didn't expect anything in return. You just told me you had a tough night, too. Jim, I couldn't believe it. Then we went on our first date. I took you to one of the nicest places in the city, and I'm a bit shy to say it was kind of a test. I wanted to see how you would react. I wasn't impressed, I said with a laugh. No, you weren't. It was the most fun I'd had in years. I laughed, Jim. You made me laugh. My heart was suddenly filled with joy. You, a handsome, caring stranger, had come into my life. Her smile faded. Do you remember when I said I didn't want the night to end? I've never meant those words more. I felt so light and happy. Until we got back to the limo and I saw Alfred. Reality hit me hard. I thought about Nikki and Craig and what they might do. I worried about my contracts, knowing I would be leaving in 4 weeks. I saw the disappointment on your face through the window of the limo. I cried all the way back to the hotel, and do you know what Alfred asked? He wanted to know if I needed more time for hair and makeup in the morning. Isn't that unbelievable? She shook her head in disbelief. I sensed she was preparing to share more about her side of our relationship. It was nice to hear her thoughts, but for some reason, I felt nervous. So, I worked up my courage and messaged you. I'm not proud to say I checked my phone every few minutes for your reply. When you finally responded, my heart soared with joy. I was going to see you again, and I was so excited. We met, and your kindness amazed me. Alfred showed up to spoil our night, and I was upset, but you stopped the car and cared for me. You really made me feel better. We went to the spa. If I was nervous before, walking out to meet you in my swimsuit was scary. I've done photo shoots in revealing clothing before, but wearing a swimsuit in front of you made me feel exposed. But you didn't look at me in a way that made me uncomfortable, even though I thought you might, she added with a smile. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, I said proudly. But I remember you looking nervous too, and I didn't want to ruin the moment. May beamed. No, you didn't. You hugged me and all my nervousness disappeared. Being in your arms felt right. Then we played in the pool like kids, and I loved it. I could be silly with you and tease you. My heart was opening up, and then you began to kiss my leg after I teased you. Even with the growing feelings between us, you were gentle. You didn't take what you wanted. You gave me what I needed. I remember you kissing my knee. It felt like you were asking for my permission, not demanding it. There was no way I could have held back. And when I let you in, you brightened my world. You cared for me before thinking about yourself. And when I got to return the favor in the jacuzzi, it brought me so much joy again. I wanted to make you happy, Jim. I needed to show you how wonderful you made me feel. I may not have much experience, but at that moment, I felt it. It was so perfect and natural. Later, I told you again I didn't want it to end. I asked you to hold me like you would never let me go. And you did. She was holding both my hands, looking deeply into my eyes. Then we went to the beach. You remembered I liked chocolate and bought me a big bar. Once again, you surprised me. It was just a small gesture, I said, feeling a bit shy. Yes, but you do so many little things without realizing, Jim. You always open the car door for me and Marie. I see you help her walk into work even though she can manage on her own. I've been around people who would never think to do that. But shh, I'm telling you my story, she said with a smile. She gave me a quick kiss to show that she wasn't upset. So, I told you how nervous I was about being close, and you made me feel better. Then, when I got even more nervous in the car, you decided we shouldn't rush into anything. You said we should take a break from that. I couldn't believe it. We went into that beautiful house and had so much fun. I laughed. We played more, and just when I was eager to be close to you, you reminded me we agreed to hold back. Suddenly, I felt my heart grow bigger. I was feeling alive again. She kissed me again, maybe because it had been a few minutes since our last kiss and she wanted to connect. I didn't mind at all. And then we saw Sam. She grinned. Another new experience with you that changed everything. The way you touched me while we watched her was amazing. I would have never done something so bold, but you were with me. I felt safe with you. When we got back, we talked about your wonderful children. I would love to meet them one day if you'd let me. Then you playfully chased me upstairs. I was filled with joy and excitement. She leaned forward and kissed me, soft and sweet. And then we were close, Jim. We connected in such a special way. It felt wonderful. I tucked a loose strand of hair behind her ear. It was wonderful. May took my hand and placed it on her heart. It was warm and comforting. I know I've been talking for a while, but I needed you to hear my story about us, why I'm here, and what I want to say next. The air was still, and the soft light brightened May's face. She looked so happy. I know it might sound sudden, but I think I'm falling for you, Jim. You've helped me feel love again. She paused, a little shy. I stopped her with a gentle kiss. I love you. May's eyes sparkled. I love you too. Any word from her? Jason shrugged and shook his head. Sorry, boss, she hasn't shown up again. Ugh, I mumbled to myself. Sam didn't come to work on Monday, which was unusual for her. More worryingly, she hadn't even called. I had a good idea why, and it worried me. Is there anything I can do? Jason asked. No, you've been great covering for her. Just keep things steady and he'll check on her after work. Got it, boss. I went to my office and slumped in my chair. The weekend had been like a dream. After we confessed our love, May and I spent the night showing how much we cared until late. Sunday was a blissful day spent picking up Marie, working on the house, and laughing together. Sadly, our happy time ended when May had to go back to her hotel for her busy week of photo shoots and meetings, making it tough for us to see each other. I woke up Monday to an empty, cold bed without May next to me, and then found out that Sam was missing from work. To make things worse, my meeting with my lawyer went as expected, which meant I would face serious financial troubles in the divorce. Worrying about losing money was the least of my problems. I hadn't seen my kids for days, and it was really getting to me. So when I found out on Tuesday morning that Sam wasn't coming again, it felt like the last straw in an already tough week. I tried to focus enough to have a decent day at work. Sam and the team handled most of the daily tasks while I focused on the bigger picture. With all the concerts happening in the city, I had pushed for short-term gym memberships. The higher-ups were hesitant and preferred long-term plans that looked better on paper. But I argued that the nearby hotels could bring in more money without hurting our long-term goals. Eventually, they agreed, and I was thrilled that my idea worked. Our profits tripled compared to the previous month, and the bosses asked me to create a proposal for local hotels that offered short-term memberships to their guests. I finished the presentation and sent the details to finance experts to check the prices. They would make adjustments, get approval from the bosses, and then it would be my job to reach out to the hotels and pitch the idea. The bosses even mentioned a commission if I was successful. After work, I focused on the main issue on my mind, Sam. She lived about 15 minutes away in a new apartment building. I drove over, parked, and didn't think much about how to start the conversation. All I knew was that I had made a mistake and wanted to apologize. Well, that seems like a good start, I said to myself as I left my car and buzzed her apartment. Hello? A voice came through the intercom. Sam, it's me, I replied. Can you open the door? Go away, Jim, she responded, sounding upset. Please, Sam, I'm really sorry. Can we talk? She hung up, and for a moment I thought she might ignore me completely. But then the door buzzed and I went in. I hurried up the stairs to her floor and walked down the corridor. Sam's apartment was at the end, facing a small park. I knocked and waited nervously until she finally let me in. She looked upset, more than I had ever seen her. Normally she was well put together, but now I felt awful for what I had done. Her flat was modern, with stylish white furniture and art on the walls. She walked to the sofa quietly and sat down, tucking her legs under her. I took a seat in the chair across from her, feeling helpless. The cheerful, confident Sam was gone, and all that was left was someone I had hurt. Listen. Have you told anyone? She interrupted. What? No. Why would I do that? I'm really sorry for what happened. Watching you was a big mistake, and I regret it. Sam looked unhappy. Watching me? That's not my problem. Then what do you mean by have I told anyone? About me, she exclaimed. About being gay. No. Why would I do that? It was a surprise, but... Oh, so now you think him strange? Sam's eyes filled with tears. I was confused. Sam, I've thought you were unique since the day I met you. That doesn't change anything about you. Because I don't know. I haven't told anyone, and when you saw me, I felt lost in the moment. She started to cry. Whoa, hey, Sam! I jumped onto the couch beside her and wrapped her in a hug. Sam, are you not coming to work and ignoring me because you were worried about what I'd think about you being honest with me? Yeah, what else could it be? I laughed, and she pushed me away. What's so funny? She asked. I was nervous because I thought you were upset with me for watching you. I didn't realize you were worried about how I would take it. I took her hands. Sam, who you like doesn't change who you are at all. You are still the best friend I could ever want. You're amazing, Sam. I'm sorry I found out about you in a way that took away your chance to tell me. Sam's eyes filled with tears again. You really don't see me any different? No, I'm actually more proud of you than I've ever been. I mean, he'll never forget what I saw in the jacuzzi, not that I'm upset about it, but Sam, you are still you, no matter who you love. Sam threw herself at me and held on tightly. Thank you, Jim. I can't tell you how scared I was. I didn't know what you would think or if you would tell anyone. It's been really hard. I patted her back. I'm sorry, Sam. I should have come to talk with you the next day. She sat back, smiling. It's okay, I'm sure you were busy. She smirked and added, It looked that way the other night. Yeah, about that. She laughed. It was one of the craziest things that's ever happened to me. When I saw you both, I froze, and then I noticed Maeve. Wow! And then she came along with me. Well, I won't lie and say we didn't enjoy it, but we were worried about how you would feel about it. It wasn't right of us to watch. Sam relaxed, and a bit of her old self came back. No, I liked it. But how did you know I was there watching me? I coughed and rubbed my neck. To be honest, I kind of saw you once before, accidentally. I promise I wasn't staring in a bad way, but I did stay and watched a bit. Sam laughed and slapped my arm. I can't even be mad at you. Now I see why you wanted to bring Maeve to the gym after it closed. You and the redhead inspired me, I said with a playful bow. That's Alice, Sam said with a warm smile. She and I have been seeing each other for a while now. She helped me understand who I really am. I'm glad and am proud of you. I hugged her again, and everything felt right. Sam wiped her eyes, her spirit shining through again. Jim, I was worried about this talk. I haven't slept well. But now that we've talked, I just want to thank you. Your response was what I needed to hear. Hey, that's what best friends are for, right? Best friends who share everything. Sam winked. Okay, we have so much to discuss. I can tell you about Alice now, and you can share about Maeve. This is fantastic. We spent the next hour catching up about our lives. Sam insisted on hearing every detail about Maeve, and especially focused on when I had watched her. It seemed like Sam might have been getting excited as I described things. I talked about being close with May, and she told me about her journey to accept herself with Alice's support. They met at the gym and started training together, which led to drinks, and eventually to more time spent together. Over a few months, Sam started to understand and accept her feelings for Alice. Having some experience, Alice supported her through it all. When Sam finished sharing, I whistled. Wow, that's wonderful, Sam. Yeah, I never thought I'd fall in love. The guys I dated just didn't feel right, but then Alice came into my life and, well, you heard us. I definitely heard you. You seem to be more confident. Sam nodded with excitement. That's the best part. Outside, Alice is a successful lawyer, but in our private moments, she lets me take charge. When we tried new things, I found that I loved being in control. We really click. Some unwanted thoughts crossed my mind, but I kept quiet so as not to ruin the nice evening with Sam. We sipped some water and chatted a bit until Sam said, Thank you for everything, Jim. You're the first person I've told about this, and you've made me brave enough to talk to my parents. Do you think... Could you come with me when I tell them? It would help me feel less nervous. I'd be happy to go. Just tell me when and where. She looked at the clock. What about tonight? I think I should just do it instead of worrying longer. Worrying? Yeah. My parents are pretty traditional, especially my dad. You'll see when you meet him." She bit her lip. "I'm not sure how he will react." "That's why he'll be there, right? No matter what happens, I'm here for you." Sam hugged me and gave me a quick kiss on the cheek. "Thank you." She quickly tied her hair back into a ponytail. "All right, let's do this." I decided to drive. I had told Marie I was going to Sam's after work, so I couldn't give her a ride. She reminded me not to worry about her and said she would take a taxi. Sam directed me to a small group of charming houses on the other side of town. She was nervous and didn't say much during the ride. I tried to comfort her, but I don't think it helped much. I figured that telling her parents must be really stressful. Their house was small but full of character. I hadn't met her parents before, but I could see where Sam got her looks. The woman who opened the door looked like an older version of Sam. She had a few more laugh lines, some gray hair, but she still held on to her youthful beauty. Her father was a big man. I am over 6 feet tall, but he seemed taller and wider. He was balding but had a thick beard. If Sam got her looks from her mother, she got her strong language from her father. "Wow, you're a handsome one?" He shook my hand firmly, and Sam made the introductions. As we walked into a cozy, cluttered living room, he lifted Sam in a bear hug. "Daddy!" she laughed, playfully hitting his chest. I smiled. It looked like Sam was close to her dad. "You're never too old for one of my hugs," he said warmly, kissing her cheek before putting her down and playfully messing up her hair. She quickly ducked away and jokingly responded in kind. "All right, you two. What will Jim think of your teasing?" her mother said. "Oh, don't worry. I hear plenty of Sam's playful language at work." "Yuck, please don't call me ma'am. It makes me feel old." "I'm Terry, and the person over there is Fred." We sat around the table while her mother poured us mugs of tea. As the excitement from our arrival faded, her father asked, "So what brings you here, Sammy?" He glanced at me and added, "New boyfriend we should know about?" I coughed, and Sam's face looked pale. "No, not quite that," Sam replied, her hands shaking. I wasn't sure if I should help her, but I decided to give her space. This was her moment, and I didn't want to take away from it. Her mother leaned in, concerned. "Samantha, is something wrong?" Sam took a deep breath and looked up. "No, nothing's wrong, Mom. Jim's not my boyfriend. He's here to support me. Over these past few months, I've realized something important about myself, and I need to tell you. Mom, Dad, I'm gay." I didn't know what to expect, but the heavy silence that filled the room was not it. It was uncomfortable and tense. I found myself holding my breath, feeling worried for Sam. Why weren't they saying anything? Finally, her father spoke, slowly and uncertainly. "Sammy, you don't know how to take that. Are you sure it's not just a phase? What about kids?" Her mom added, "Sweetheart, we know you get caught up in these things. Think about your future. What about a husband and family?" All the energy left Sam, her shoulders drooping and her head hanging low. I saw her start to cry and quickly moved my chair to hug her. Anger boiled inside me. "Is that the best you can say?" I exclaimed. "Of all the things you could say, that was it?" Her father, lost in shock, clung to my anger. It gave him something to focus on, some way to avoid facing what Sam had just shared. "Don't you dare speak to me and my wife like that in my house. I'll say what needs to be said. Sam just opened up to both of you, and you're supposed to love her for who she is, not hurt her." I held Sam close as she cried into my shoulder. "Tell me, is she smart and strong?" "Yes, of course," her father replied. "Does being gay change any of that?" "Well, no, but—" "There is no but," I shouted. I took a deep breath to calm down. I've never seen Sam scared before, but today, she was terrified. "Can't you see why? Shame on both of you. Sam's courage should be celebrated, not crushed." I pointed at a photo of Sam's parents playing with her as a baby. "That little girl just opened her heart, and you hurt her." Sam was still crying, but lifted her head. "Let's go, at least they know now." "No!" her father shouted, standing up. He looked regretful. Her mother also appeared ashamed. "Sammy, I'm sorry, sweetie. Jim was right. I made a mistake." Sam pulled her head away from me but held my hand tightly. "Have I disappointed you, Dad?" she asked softly. The big man rushed over and knelt. No, sweetie, never. You could never disappoint me. We made a mistake, her mother interrupted, shocking Sam. I could tell she wasn't used to hearing that word. Our kind, strong daughter came to us wanting our support, and we failed her. Jim was right. We were wrong and did not know better. She stood up and knelt on the other side of Sam. What we should have said is that we love you, no matter what. You will always be our daughter. All that matters is that you are happy. But you said, forget what we said, her father said with worry. I spoke without thinking. I have never felt more sorry in my life. A family is what you build. If you find a special woman one day and start a family together, we will be the happiest grandparents in the world. I am sorry, Sammy. Please, we were wrong. Sam wiped her nose. And you are not ashamed of me or think less of me? No, dear, never. Jim was right about that, too. We have always been proud of you, though we gave you no reason to be proud of us tonight. I know we cannot take back our words, but I will try my best to show you how much I love you. Me too, her mom said. Can you stay here tonight, Samantha? I want to hear all about your last few months. This includes how hard it has been for you. We will help you and support you, just like Jim did, and just like we should have done. We are both wrong and did not know better, so give us a chance to make it right, please. Okay, Sam said. She let go of my hand. Her dad picked her up in a warm hug. Her mother joined them. All three shared some tears. I felt like I was in the way of a family time. I knew I had said strong words to two people I just met. Before I could move, her father stepped away from Sam. He gave me a strong hug. I am sorry. I was wrong. He let me go and held out his hand. Thank you for being there for our daughter when we were not. I shook his hand and patted his shoulder. It is okay. I think you both have changed well. Her mom hugged me too. Then Sam did. She held me tight. I saw she got her hugs from her father, and her way of speaking too. Jim, I cannot thank you enough. I would not have made it through this without you. Hey, it was nothing. Stay here tonight. Do not worry about work tomorrow. I will cover your shift. I will make sure it does not count against your pay or time off. Spend the day with your parents. Tell them your story. I leaned forward and whispered, well, not all of the story, if you know what I mean. Sam laughed and tapped my shoulder. We will talk about those parts later. I nodded. Yes. Have a good evening. Sam, I really am proud of you. Her smile was all the thanks I needed. It was late when I left Sam's place. Yellow light came from street lamps along the roads. Cars drove by on their way home. I felt happy. Sam had shared her truth. I had helped a little. It felt good that she could be herself with me and her family, without fear. I was passing Marie's work when my phone rang through the car speaker. I answered, thinking it was Sam, but I smiled when I heard May's voice. Hey, stranger. I missed you today, she said. I missed you. How was your day? It was okay. For some reason, I could not stop thinking about our weekend together. Oh, really? Were you thinking about anything special? All of it. But some parts stood out. I know it is late, but are you free even for a short time? I need my time with Jim. I laughed. As it happens, I just left Sam's parents' house. Where are you? Where do you want to go? Oh, is she okay? Did you find out why she was not at work? It was not about us, was it? I laughed. No, do not worry. She liked us watching her. I guess I can tell you since you know already. But Sam likes women. She had trouble telling people. That is why she has been away. I went with her to her parents for support. I am glad I did. They did not take it well at first, but they changed their minds. Oh no, is she okay? May asked with real worry. Yes, she is fine. She is staying with them tonight. She will take the day off tomorrow. So, where do you want to meet me? Could you park on the next street from my hotel? I will have to slip out. It should not be hard. Alfred usually goes to bed once I am in my room. He does not come out until morning. Still, Craig and Nikki have been very mad at me and you. So park a street away. I will call you when I leave the hotel. We ended the call. I followed her plan. I did not like the idea of May walking alone. So I parked and waited for her on the corner near the hotel. There was no sign of Alfred's car. I felt better. I waited until I saw May step out. She pressed buttons on her phone. I answered and said, "That is a nice sweater." I could see May's smile. I told you to park a street away. I did. But I did not want you walking alone, so I am waiting on the corner like a stranger. Her head turned from side to side until she saw me. You are my stranger, she said. She ended the call. She walked fast toward me with her head down. I waited until she was away from the hotel. Then I hugged her and kissed her. I missed those soft lips. Okay, where now? I asked as we walked back to the car. Is it bad if I want to relax with you in the hot tub? She said, turning a bit red. No, that is very good. We have towels there, but no swim clothes. She raised her eyebrow. Will that be a problem? Not at all. It took all my control to drive at the right speed. Still, I got to the gym fast. I opened the doors quick to get inside. I thought to turn off the cameras as soon as we went in. I thanked Sam in my mind. May was just as happy as I was. Her eyes shone in the dark. She kept touching me when she could. I turned on my phone light. I led her to the changing rooms. When we reached the men's, I held the door open for her, but she did not go in. She had a spark in her eye. She kissed me and said, "You go first. I will meet you there." I had a small worry that she brought swim clothes anyway, but I let it go. If she did, it would not stay on long. It is odd to wait alone like that. Women have it easy. They can look good just sitting or standing. Men have a harder time. I did not want to go in the pool. The cold water might not help. Standing did not seem right either. May said she wanted the hot tub, so I sat on the side of it facing the changing rooms. I put my feet in the water. I did not wait long for May. She came out to the pool side. She looked at me with a warm gaze. May showed that women find it easy to look good. She walked slowly toward me. Her eyes looked at me and back up. Her hips moved from side to side. She did not hurry. She moved with care, like a dancer. There was a set of 3 steps that led up to the jacuzzi and a small area around it. May walked up the steps on the other side from me and sat down facing me. She smiled at me warmly. I felt drawn to her and started to feel excited. May looked pleased and began to move in a way that showed her interest. She let out soft sounds as she did this, keeping her eyes on me. I moved closer, so part of me touched the warm water. I felt more eager watching May speed up her actions. I wanted to join her, but I could tell she liked showing off for me. She turned and got into a new position, arching her back a bit. Her chest moved gently as she reached back. "It feels nice, Jim," May said, tossing her hair back and looking at me over her shoulder. There was a spark in her eyes. I stood up and walked across the jacuzzi. We had shared tender moments before, but not yet tonight. Her eyes showed strong feelings. I stepped behind her, resting against her gently. I moved slowly and entered her space. May made a soft sound. "Please," she whispered. I touched her back softly. She let out a happy sigh and her body moved, pushing us closer. "Again?" she asked. "Stronger." I did. We connected more. She was moving back and forth, making small sounds. "May?" I asked with a firm tone. "Yes?" she replied, breathing hard. "We have shared tender moments so far, right?" I touched her again. "Yes," she said. "Tonight, what am I going to do?" I touched her once more. She said. I felt her respond. Another touch, another soft sound. "Answer me, May. What am I going to do?" "You are going to make love to me." I answered by moving fully with her. It was a lot for May. She called out, "Yes!" I made love to her. There was none of the soft, caring way we had before. It was strong and intense. I moved with her again and again. She called out freely. She moved her hips back, matching me. Her chest swung with each shift. I touched her firmly and she called louder. I pulled back and she turned, lying on her back at the edge of the jacuzzi with her legs open for me. I did not wait and joined her again. She wrapped her legs around me and pulled me close. Strong feelings burned in our eyes. Drops of sweat ran down our bodies. She reached out and followed a drop of sweat down my chest. She caught it on her finger and used it in her movements while I kept going. "Do you like that, dear?" I asked, holding her close. "Do you like me making love to you this way?" "Yes," she said, lifting her head. Her breath came fast. "Don't stop, dear. Treat me like I am yours." I let go and touched her chest. "You like being mine?" It was too much for her. "Yes, I am going to finish," she called. I did not stop. I kept going with all I had, helping her through her peak as mine came near. "Oh!" Her body shook as she reached her high point with me. As she calmed, I built up. She could tell because she moved her legs apart wide. Finish with me, dear. I want to feel you. My joy grew. May held my face in her hands. Look at me, Jim. I am yours. Complete me. Show me how much you care. I did. I felt a strong wave as my feelings took over. May sighed as I shared deeply with her. It lasted a long time. I lost track of moments as I gave all I had. With a final move I held close. May's soft hand brought me back. She smiled up at me, covered in sweat. I smiled too. I leaned down and kissed her, tasting the salt from our effort as our lips met gently. When we stopped, May said, "I love you." I kissed her again. "I love you too." I moved away slowly. She smiled wide. "I love sharing times like this." "I love it too." I felt too warm, so I said, "Want to cool off in the pool?" "Good idea. Race you." There was no way I could win. She jumped up and ran down the steps while I got out of the jacuzzi slowly. I did not mind. Seeing her move with energy was worth it. The cool water of the pool helped us relax after our close time. May jumped into my arms and I walked around the pool with her as she kissed my neck and shoulders. "That was different," she said. "Good different or bad different?" I asked, wondering if I had been too strong. "A good different for sure, we both felt so much. But I would not want that every time. I think it might be too much. I love the soft, caring way just as much. Sometimes we should have strong times and other times soft ones." "I agree fully. It was not too much for you, was it? The touches?" "Not at all. It added excitement and made things better. I like it." "Okay, good. I am glad we think the same. When do you think we can meet again? I know you are busy, but I want more time with you." May rubbed her cheek on mine. "Me too," she said. "If I could choose, I would be with you every night. I have shows on Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and they fill my days at the hotel with useless tasks. I think they do it so I have no time for you." She made a sad face. "I just want to be with you." "You look cute like that." I spun her around, enjoying how she moved in the water. "Okay, well, I am busy too, but I can change my plans a bit. What about Friday night? If things go well tomorrow, I should see the kids then, but drop them back around 7. What if I pick you up after and you stay over? By then, I should have the living room fixed up so you can see it." May moved up and down with joy, showing her happy energy. It was getting late, so we changed clothes and I drove her back to the hotel sadly. She gave me a long kiss goodnight, and I waited until she went inside safely. Despite my first worries when I met May, I had jumped right in with her in every way. I had fallen for her, and I was sure she felt the same. In the dark night, when doubts grew strong, I started to worry. What would happen if she left and never returned? It was that thought more than anything that kept me awake that night. The next day, Jason and I handled all of Sam's work. The big man and the rest of our staff were happy to hear that she was okay and coming back. I only told them she needed some time off for personal reasons. I texted May all day, but it just wasn't the same as seeing her. We always had a lot to talk about, and she made me feel better when I shared my worries about meeting Linda that evening. I didn't want to get back together with her, but signing the papers would mean officially ending our marriage. What worried me was talking to the kids about it. I knew Tommy would handle it well. But Emma. She was already sad and missing me. Telling her that I wouldn't be coming home would break my heart again. May helped by saying what I needed to hear, but nothing could ease my deep fear of facing my little girl. I finished work early and picked the kids up from school. Emma looked perfect, just like a model student. Tommy, though, had his shirt on backwards and inside out, his shoes on the wrong feet, and his pants were muddy. "Did you have a good day, Tommy?" I asked as I picked him up, while Emma held my hand. "I played football in the mud," Tommy said proudly. "I see that, little guy. First things first, ice cream." I took them to a small ice cream shop and let them choose their favorite flavors. Tommy excitedly told me about his day and the match, but Emma was quite quiet. She sat close to me and wouldn't let go of my hand while eating. My fears came creeping back. Tommy's ice cream ended up more around his mouth than in it, but he was having fun all the same. I had to finish Emma's ice cream for her when she couldn't eat anymore. I drove us back to Linda's house and took things out of the car. Linda was waiting for us in the living room, looking a bit more tired than last time, but otherwise fine. I handed her the light yellow envelope, and she sighed as she took it. Have your lawyers check it. Sign it, send it to the address on the envelope, and they will handle the rest. It should take about 3 months to finish everything, I said. Linda nodded. Do you want to eat first, or should we talk to the kids now? Let's eat first. I don't think anyone will want to eat after, I said. Or before, Linda replied with a pointed look at Tommy, whose face was covered in chocolate. The little guy smiled and put me in an awkward position. Daddy bought us ice cream. I can see that, Linda said with a small smile. I hope he won't make it a regular thing. Just a one-time treat, I promised. Dinner was quiet. Linda and I sat across from each other, with Emma beside me and Tommy next to Linda. I'm sure the spaghetti and meatballs were tasty, but I could hardly enjoy them. After what felt like forever, but was really only about 20 minutes, we cleaned up and sat the kids down for the hard conversation. Linda and I exchanged glances, neither of us knowing how to start. In one of the toughest moments of my life, Emma spoke first. You're leaving us, Daddy, aren't you? She looked up at me with big, watery blue eyes, her lip quivering. Angel, I'm never going to leave you or Tommy. That's the first thing you should know. No matter what happens, I will always love you both and be there for you. I'm just moving to a different house, but I will make arrangements with Mommy so I can see you as often as possible. Her eyes filled with tears. My little angel. But you won't be living here anymore. She started to cry and jumped onto my lap, wrapping her small arms around me. Please, don't go, Daddy. I'm sorry if I was bad, she begged. I'll be good, I promise. I won't take cookies from the jar again, and he'll put my dolls away. I was taken aback, and Linda made a quiet sound of sorrow. I could only hold Emma close and gently rock her like I used to when she was a baby. Sweetheart, my leaving has nothing to do with you, okay? You have to believe me. Your mother and I will just be living in different places now. Tommy didn't understand what was happening, but seeing Emma cry made him upset too. Linda quickly picked him up and held him close. Nothing, not even Linda leaving me, hurt more than witnessing this. My feelings changed too quickly for me to grasp. The biggest one was sadness, mixed with a quiet anger. Linda was to blame. Her actions caused my children the hurt they were feeling. I looked at her and saw fear in her eyes. She knew it was her fault. I continued to rock Emma until her sobs faded, and she drifted off to sleep in my arms. I couldn't let her go. I held her until night fell and surrounded the house. I'm sorry, Linda said softly, breaking the heavy silence. Yeah, me too, I replied, trying to hide the hurt in my voice. She'll wake up as soon as you leave. You'll hold her all night then. Do you want me to set up a bed in her room? No. He'll lie on her bed. I think she'll just want to be close to me if I try to move away. I took a deep breath. I want to see them on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons. I can pick them up from school and spend some time with them before taking them home. We can plan weekends as they come. Is that okay with you? Linda nodded. Whatever you want, Jim. He'll never keep you from seeing them. Emma. She's definitely a daddy's girl. I know, and I need to show her that she will always be that, even if I'm not there. Once Marie's place is ready, there will be room for them to stay overnight. Yes, of course. They would love that. I felt like Linda would agree to whatever I proposed. Let's get them to bed, I said tiredly. I carried Emma upstairs and she didn't move, except to hold onto my shirt a little tighter. Linda picked up Tommy so I could kiss him goodnight, and then she opened the door to Emma's room for me. It was decorated like a princess's dream, with pink unicorns and glittery castles. Her bed was small, but she fit nicely against my side. Linda watched us for a moment before quietly closing the door. At some point during the night, I fell asleep. I was awakened by a little hand holding mine. Emma was facing me, and I could see her wide eyes in the dark. Daddy, she whispered, I have a plan, but you can't tell Mommy. You can sleep in here with me. I can move some of my dolls to make space for your clothes. We can create a secret place like we used to, and we can hide in there. I promise he'll keep it a secret. You can stay here with me. How exciting would that be? I was glad she couldn't see the tears rolling down my cheeks as my heart ached. I touched her nose, and she giggled. I would love nothing more than to do that, but I can't. Why? Please don't go, Daddy. Is it because you don't love me anymore? She sniffled, starting to cry. I hugged her tightly, my sweet girl. Angel, I love you more than anything in the world. Did you know that the two happiest moments of my life were when you and your brother were born? I loved you from the first moment I saw you, and I will keep loving you forever. Then why are you leaving? She asked, her voice shaking. Because sometimes two people walk together on the same road. They don't see that there is a fork in the road. One person has to go one way and the other person has to go the other way. That's what has happened with me and your mom. We're on different roads now. Emma stopped crying as she thought about what I said. She was so smart for her age, and I could never hide anything from her. But in this moment, her understanding helped me. Will the roads ever meet again? She asked after a pause. No, my dear, those roads don't meet again. But do you know what's special? You and Tommy have a special gift. You can travel on the road with your mom and the road with me at the same time. It's like you get to enjoy both paths. I kissed her forehead. So you and Tommy can fly like a unicorn. Emma giggled and whispered, Unicorns don't fly, silly. Elephants? No, Daddy. Well, you always call us little angels and they fly. We'll fly like your little angels. Tears kept falling until the sun shone through my little angel's pink curtains. In the days after my talk with Tommy and Emma, I kept busy with work, exercise, and fixing up the house. I had finished painting the living room ceiling, putting up new wallpaper, and treating the floor. The fireplace looked brand new, and I even cleaned the light fixtures. All that was left was to ask May what furniture could be fixed and what was beyond help. I tried to get Marie's input on what was important to her, but she said she would be fine with whatever May and I decided. I wanted to get everything in order for when Tommy and Emma came to visit. I hoped they would see that even though I wasn't living with them, I still had a place for them to come and spend time with me. Sam was back to her cheerful self, maybe with a little extra bounce in her step. She spent most of Thursday catching up, but caught me in my office on Friday. Hello, Jimmy, she said happily. Hello, Samantha, or should I say Sammy? Don't call me that. It sounds strange coming from you. Do you have a minute? For you? Always. What's up? Sam stepped into the room and held the door for a charming redhead who walked in confidently and hugged me. Thank you so much. Sam told me about what you did for her. Jim, I can't tell you how wonderful you are for that. Knowing that I had seen a little more than I wanted with Sam and this woman, I stumbled through my words, hoping Sam wouldn't make it worse. But of course, she did. I've shared some of our fun times with Alice, she said with a grin. Oh. I mumbled a response, feeling embarrassed. Alice just laughed. Don't worry, I think it's great that you enjoyed it, and I want to thank you for helping Sam. It seems we have a bit of a playful side too, but only with someone we trust, so if you ever want to have more fun, just let us know. She winked at me. Thanks, I replied. I would have loved to watch another show, but I felt it would be unfair to May, even though we hadn't promised anything to each other. The guy downstairs was not happy about missing the chance. Maybe I can talk to May, I said. You want Maeve White to watch us? Sam asked right away. I laughed. Not if you're going to take her away. Alice wrapped her arms around Sam protectively. No way. This fun person is mine. I'm not sharing. She kissed Sam on the cheek and winked at me. To my surprise, Sam blushed like a child. Sam returned the kiss on Alice's cheek with affection. It seemed so natural, and seeing her so cheerful was heartwarming. She smiled and said, No, I wouldn't do that. I have the best girl here. But still, Maeve watching me again. Wow. All right, let's get you out of here before you start a show, Alice said. Their relationship was interesting. In their romantic life, Sam was the strong one. But in their daily life, Alice was in charge. I noticed she cared a lot for Sam, and Sam gladly followed her lead. They were perfect for each other. After they said goodbye, I found myself thinking about the private moments of those two wonderful friends. After work, I picked up Tommy and Emma from school to take them home. Since our last talk, Emma seemed much happier and more accepting of the changes. When I picked her up and kissed her at school, she whispered in my ear, "Now we're soaring over to your path." "Were you a unicorn or an elephant?" I whispered back. "I can't remember." Emma giggled. "No, silly. We're your angels, remember?" I tapped my forehead, realizing my mistake. "Ah, that's right." I crouched down to their level. "Now are you both ready for an adventure?" They cheered and jumped in the car, excited to go. When we arrived, Marie had made food and was waiting at the door. The kids reacted just as I expected. Tommy was bouncing with excitement, and Emma came closer to me and held my hand. "Is it haunted?" she asked. Looking at the big old house with a hint of fear, I could see how it might look spooky to her. "No, it's not haunted, just old," I assured her. "And this is Marie." "Marie? These are Tommy and Emma, our special guests." Marie quickly won them over with her charm. It felt nice to see their innocent hearts trust her so easily. I gave them a tour of the house, and their eyes grew wide with wonder at everything new. When we reached my room, Emma and Tommy bounced on my bed. "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy, can we stay here, please?" Emma begged. "Yay!" Tommy shouted. "Yes, you can stay," I said. "But I need to tidy up a few rooms first, okay?" Happy about staying over, the excited duo explored the house with me until we met Marie in the kitchen. She had made them a simple meal of fries, beans, and breaded chicken, something easy for kids to eat. Since Marie and I were having dinner with May later, we watched the kids while they asked Marie lots of questions about the house. "And you promise the house isn't haunted?" Emma asked, still worried about the creaky floorboards and old rooms. "Well, I've lived here for over 50 years and haven't seen anything," Marie said, smiling. "Unless you count your dad in the morning," she joked, making Emma laugh. The kids were reluctant to leave, but after several promises from Marie and me, they finally agreed to go. Everything was going well. They were starting to accept their new life with more excitement than sadness. While we drove, I asked, "So what do you think of Marie and the house? How do you feel about everything now?" I was mainly talking to Emma, but Tommy responded with a big smile and thumbs up. Emma took a moment before answering. "I feel better and I like Marie," she said seriously. There was something else she wanted to say. "But," I encouraged her, "but, the house isn't like our home, it's just a house." "Yes, it is an old house while ours is newer," I replied. "That's not it," Emma said. But then she lost interest and asked me to promise I would see them again on Monday. I dropped them off and handed them over to Linda. It felt a bit awkward, but I figured it was just another part of this new routine I would learn to adapt to. On my way back, I stopped by the hotel to pick up May. As soon as we were out of sight, she greeted me with hugs and kisses, which made me smile. It felt like the difficult times in my life were beginning to fade. Marie had the evening off and decided to cook a meal with May. I watched as May listened closely to Marie's instructions. Her concentration made her look cute, and a few times I felt a strong urge to hug her tightly. While they cooked, May asked Marie about Bob and their life together. I had heard how they met, but enjoyed seeing May's delighted reaction when Marie told the story of Bob's funny response the first time they met. Marie also talked about the house and things they enjoyed doing together. As May put the lasagna in the oven, Marie said, "Lasagna was Bob's favorite. I made it for him once a week for our entire marriage." "Bob was lucky," May said, closing the oven and sitting down beside me. She reached for my hand and held it while speaking. Marie smiled softly. "Not as lucky as I was. On our lasagna nights, we would enjoy a nice meal and then dance in the living room." I suddenly interrupted, holding my ears. "Marie, I can't hear about that." "Oh, you silly," Marie laughed. "I hope you're treating May well." May laughed too and blushed a little. "I try my best," I said. "But let's change the topic. What music did you dance to?" Marie winked at May and said, "Our song was Plaisir d'amour by Jean-Paul Egide Martini." We danced to it at our wedding and every week after that. She paused, wiping her eyes. "I looked for the record after he passed, but I haven't found it. In the last few years of his life, we couldn't dance, so all I have left is the memory of our last dance." May gave her a hug, and Marie composed herself. "It's a beautiful song that means a lot to me." "I can help find the record," May said. "My record company could locate it quickly." "That's very kind, thank you." But as silly as it sounds, nothing could replace the sound of that old record, knowing it was what Bob and I listened to for so long. That makes sense. Maybe it will turn up during the renovation. Well, keep an eye out. I saw the record player, and it's one thing you definitely should keep. If you don't mind, I would love to get it fixed up for you. Marie smiled brightly. That sounds wonderful. Sorry for being down earlier. If it were Jim, I would have given him a light scold. I haven't had one of those in a while, I joked. Marie glanced at May. I wonder why that is. The meal was fantastic, and May lit up as I praised her cooking. Marie was great company, and we shared stories about the kids' visit. Afterward, we spent time looking around the living room and talking about where the furniture should go. I let May and Marie take the lead. May was curious about how Marie and Bob had set up the room, while Marie was eager to hear May's thoughts on the layout. They sorted through everything I had kept in the games room and decided what to keep and what to toss. It took about an hour, but by the end, May had a good idea of how the refreshed living room would look. Marie wished us a good night and headed to bed, giving each of us a quick kiss on the cheek before she left. May sat cross-legged on the floor, humming softly as she sorted items into a keep pile and a throw pile. She was wearing comfy clothes, no makeup, and had her hair pulled back, but she looked lovely. "Why don't you ever sing?" I asked, sitting next to her and helping sort through things. May picked up an old picture frame with a crack and put it in the throw pile. "I used to sing all the time, but I stopped when I fell out of love with what it stood for. The songs I hear now feel empty, like copies of the real thing. So I just stopped. I hum sometimes when I'm happy, but not my own songs, just little tunes that come to me, like a bird singing or a child's laughter." Her words made me sad. The world had taken something May cherished and changed it until it felt fake. "Do you think you could ever love it again?" May shrugged, as if she had accepted her feelings a long time ago. "Maybe. It doesn't mean much to me anymore. But what about you? How are you feeling after Wednesday? The kids seem okay now, but I could tell you weren't quite yourself afterward." "You noticed?" I asked. "Of course. I didn't want to pry, so I just kept things normal until I could talk to you." She then sat in my lap, wrapping her legs around me. Even sitting on the hard floor, it felt pleasant. May smiled. "I think our serious talks should happen when we can be close." To make her point, she gave me a quick kiss on the nose. "So how are you?" "I'm all right now. At that time it was tough. My little girl cried and worried it was her fault." I paused to clear my throat. "She thought I might not love her anymore. It was one of the worst moments of my life." May hugged me tightly. "Oh, I'm so sorry. I can't imagine how hard that was." "It was, but I'm okay now. More importantly, Emma's fine. I stayed in her room that night and we talked through it all. By the end, she felt better. Bringing them here earlier helped, and we all enjoyed the house. They didn't want to leave." "Well, I think we know the next room we should tackle," May said with excitement. They talked about setting up a room for the kids if they stayed over. I kissed her on the lips. "Good idea, as long as Marie does not mind." "We will ask her," May agreed, "but we both know what she will say." We finished the last tasks and went to my room. Unlike the first night at the spa, May felt at ease with me now. In fact, she seemed very comfortable. As soon as the door closed, she kissed me deeply. "Are you going to look at me or join me in the shower?" she asked with a smile. "Shower," was all I could say. We went into the shower and shared close moments like young people while our hands moved gently over each other. May tried to help, but I stopped her. "Wait, I want to try something new." I picked up my shaving tools. "It has been a while since I last shaved and it bothers me. I want you to help me shave." May touched my smooth cheek. "But you look fine." "I mean another spot." Her eyes grew wide as she understood. "Jim, I am not sure," she said with doubt. "What if I make a mistake?" "You will not. Just use lots of foam." "Okay," she said. She knelt down and applied foam carefully. The feel of her hands made me feel good. May looked interested and helped a few times before using the blade. She paused and looked up. "Are you sure?" "Yes. If you do well, I might share something fun I learned today." "Fun?" "Yes, and I think you might like it." She thought for a moment and then started shaving gently. I closed my eyes and enjoyed her careful work as she added more foam. After that, she helped with nearby areas too. I felt relaxed, focused only on the nice feelings. I did not notice she finished until she stood up. She had rinsed everything, leaving it clean and smooth. Every touch felt stronger now. When I felt ready, I asked her to stand. I held her close and shared the moment, helping her feel good too. She made happy sounds, holding my head as I helped her. "What were you going to tell me?" she asked between breaths. "The fun thing." I smiled up at her and kept going. "Are you sure you want to hear?" "Yes," she said. I stood up and turned her around. She leaned forward a bit. I moved close and stayed still. She moved her hips back and forth gently. I moved with her, staying close. I reached around and held her gently as we shared the time. "It is about what we saw at the spa," I said. May breathed deeply and moved more. "About Sam and the redhead?" "Alice, yes." I stayed close with more energy. "They came to my office today. It turns out they liked us watching them. Alice even offered another show." May sighed and felt more excited. "What did you say?" she whispered. "I said I would talk to you. Sam was very happy. Can you guess why?" May was close to her peak, so I helped her along. She made louder sounds and moved quickly. "What? Why was she happy, Jim?" "She liked the idea of you watching her again," I said. May reached her high point. Her body tightened and she called out as the feeling took her. "Oh!" she said, pushing back. Her shake slowed until she felt weak. I helped her stand on unsteady legs and turned off the shower. She felt too dazed to dry off, so I dried us both and we lay on the bed. I wanted to give May time to rest. She lay on her back, breathing deeply. A warm color rose on her chest and face. She covered her face with her hands. "Oh my, I can't believe I felt that way over it. I feel shy." I laughed and moved her hands. "Why? It was nice." "You liked it. I liked it. What is the problem?" "I don't know. It is just so playful." Like May's work life, there were two sides to her fun side. One was sweet and liked the soft, caring part, while the other was bold and happy to enjoy our shared joy. "It is playful, but that makes it fun." "You would not mind watching them again?" she asked slowly. "Not at all. There would be clear rules. They love each other, and so do we. But they like being seen, and it seems you enjoy seeing, so why not?" May turned redder. "And what do you enjoy? I will not do anything that risks us, no matter how nice it might be." And there it was, one big difference between May and Linda, clear as day. Linda thought only of herself, nothing else. Her actions broke a marriage. May spoke of us even early on. She saw our joy as together, not apart. I kissed her soft lips, warm from her feelings. "I enjoy the fun paths we take together. I enjoy you, and I enjoy you enjoying me. It is the best time of my life by far." "I agree, past times are far away, dull, and not enough. This," her eyes grew dreamy, "this must be like a perfect place, and we explore it as one." She rolled on top of me and said, "You made my legs weak, now it is my turn. Sit on the edge of the bed, I want to try something new tonight, too." Curious and eager, I did as she said and watched her walk to the bathroom. She came back with a bottle of her skin cream. "It is good to care for your skin after cleaning," she said, looking at me. She knelt between my legs and moved them apart. "I will make sure you have enough cream where you need it." She put the cream on and began rubbing it in. She gave close care to all spots, rubbing with one hand, while the other moved gently. May was right, it must have been like a perfect place. She helped me feel closer to my peak, building me up and listening to my sounds. When I was almost there, she stopped and said, "I don't think my hands are doing well enough." Trust me, they are." "Please, May, help me finish." A drop of wetness ran down. She caught it with her finger and used it to touch the top gently. "I think I have something that will work better than my hands." She stood on her knees and put cream in place. Leaning forward, she used it to spread evenly and then held close around me. She began moving up and down. It felt soft and warm. A new wave of joy took over as she moved faster, touching against me. I could not look away. A soft sound came each time she moved down. I started to feel a tingle. "Keep going," I said. May went faster. "Share with me, dear. I want to feel your warmth. Give it to me." The joy built up. I gasped as I reached my peak. Strong waves came from me. Again and again they touched her. She did not stop until she helped get every last bit. I sighed when she let go. It was amazing. I felt a warm touch as May helped clean up. After she made a face and said, "Yuck, that cream tastes bad." "Then why did you help clean?" "You did not have to." "I know, but it is our way, and I wanted to." She jumped up, showing a lot of warmth I did not know I had. "I love how much you share," she said, rubbing her hands over it. The kind look she gave made me stir. She noticed and said, "I need to shower. Care to join me?" I was in there before her. The storm had passed, and I stood in a field of sunshine after it. Thoughts of Linda's wrong floated away on the winds, and the clear sky had light white clouds. Each one held a dear memory of my last weeks with people who became key in my life. First were Emma and Tommy. The steady pain in my heart from not living with them had eased a bit by our visits 3 times a week. They loved the house, and they loved Marie. I had to give all the love and care I could in those special hours with them. It made Monday, Wednesday, and Friday afternoons fun, strong, bold times that kept me going until next time. The next key was May. That lovely person came into my dull world and made it bright. In private, we shared joys neither of us had known before. Outside, a love grew that matched the new growth of spring around us. Marie took the next spot. She gave me a place and helped through my toughest time. I could never thank her enough, not that she wanted any. She was a guide, a source of peace-wise words, and when needed, a firm talk. The last key finishing the base of my new life was Sam. Since sharing her truth, she got back all her old bold ways and sureness. She talked to staff about her life, and they gave her the praise she earned. Alice was now often at the gym greeting Sam with a kiss that left her flushed and dreamy. I was happy, something I never thought could happen when Linda left my life with Mark. I do not think one thing caused it, but a chain of rare and lucky events that came together with great force. May and I had spent our time fixing sanding, sharing tender moments, fixing seats, sharing strong moments, eating, sharing joy, laughing, and making the most of life. The living room was finally finished, but we hadn't shown it to Marie yet. That big reveal was for later. We also had a great start on the games room and the second bedroom. Soon I would have a nice place for my kids to stay and play. Time went by happily. The only shadow on this bright outlook was that there were only 2 weeks left before May had to leave. My idea for short-term stays at local hotels had been approved by the higher-ups, and now it was time to present it to the hotels. It was a Monday morning, and I had just enjoyed another wonderful weekend with May. Winter had given way to spring, and everything began to wake up from the cold months. I met Marie at her job, and we went to visit Bob's resting place. Sitting on the bench that overlooked the park, I breathed in deeply, enjoying the fresh scent of the grass and trees. A few birds were singing from the high branches of an old oak tree standing near Bob's grave. "How long does May have left?" Marie asked, breaking the peaceful silence. My heart sank at her question. May and I had been avoiding any talk about her leaving. It felt silly, but we were so happy that we didn't want to spoil it by discussing what was coming. "Another 2 weeks," I replied, feeling down. "Then she moves on to another city. I'm not sure, but I think she has 2 months left on her tour after she leaves here." "You haven't talked to her about it?" "No. I think we're both too scared to face it." I don't know how she managed it. She sat next to me on the bench with her hands in her lap, like older women do. Suddenly, I felt a sharp pain on my ear. "Ow!" I shouted. I turned to her, but her hands hadn't moved. "Shush," she said firmly. "We're in a graveyard. It's been a while since I've had to do that." I rubbed my ear, trying to hide my annoyance. I didn't tell her that she had just slapped my ear in the graveyard. "What was that for?" "For being childish. Running away from your problems isn't a good way to handle them." That sharp-witted old lady was always right. "What can I do? Should I ask her to give up her life for me?" "You don't need to ask her to do anything, young man, but you both need to talk about it. You owe it to yourselves. I've spent enough time with both of you to see that you're meant for each other. She's a true gem, and you're not too bad yourself." "Thanks, Marie." I moved a bit further down the bench, not that it would help if she decided to hit me again. "Don't you think her world and mine don't match?" "Jim, you're worrying too much about the problem and not focusing on finding a solution. Yes, you might be from different backgrounds, as you say, but you've built something new together. Why can't you think about that? Why are you stuck thinking about where you've come from instead of where you could go? I sighed heavily. Marie had a way of getting right to the heart of the matter. You're right, as always. I'm supposed to give a presentation at May's hotel this morning. I wasn't going to bother her, but maybe I'll see if she's free to talk. Isn't it funny? Talking about your problems might just help you solve them. Yes, I hear you, I laughed. Is that how you and Bob manage things? Marie looked at the words on the bottom of Bob's headstone with fondness. Not at first, but we soon found out what worked for us. We realized that talking was always the best way to handle our challenges. It wasn't easy, especially if we were upset with each other, but we learned and grew together. No relationship is perfect. You and May will have arguments and sometimes disagree, but as long as you learn from those moments, you'll emerge stronger. Marie smiled as she touched my hand. Bob and I learned a lot from our time together, even when we made mistakes. Thank you, I said. If I find even half of what you and Bob had together, I'll be very lucky. I laughed lightly. I bet he'll make double the mistakes you two did. Marie watched the cheerful birds fly off from the big oak tree, dancing in the sky. I wouldn't be surprised if you did, but that's part of living. We all fumble through life and figure things out as we go. If we're fortunate, we find someone to share that journey with us. You are a remarkable person, Marie. Let me take you home now. After I dropped her off at her house, I tried to call May on my way to her hotel. From what she mentioned on Sunday, she had interviews in the morning, so when she didn't pick up, I figured she was busy. On a whim, I bought a box of chocolates and some flowers to leave for her or give to her if she was free. I had a meeting with the managing director at 11:30 and got there an hour early. A friendly receptionist with curly brown hair welcomed me in the lobby. I told her about my meeting with Mr. Gendry. She smiled and replied, "Yes, he mentioned someone would arrive. His office is on the top floor near the executive suites. Just go straight from the elevator and has the second door on the left. There are sofas in the hall where you can wait." She glanced at my flowers and chocolates with a bit of curiosity. Not wanting to cause any trouble for May, I said, "These are for a friend, not Mr. Gendry." She chuckled. "I've seen people bring in all sorts of things. Your friend is lucky." She slid a key card across the desk. "You'll need this to go to the top floor. The elevators are over there on the left. Just slide the card in, press the button for executive, and you'll get there. Have a nice day." I took the key card and thanked her. The hotel was one of the most expensive in the area, so partnering with them would be a big advantage for the gym. The carpets were rich red with gold patterns. The artwork was framed in gold, and the guests looked very wealthy. I wasn't sure if it was just me, but I didn't like how they looked at me. I was dressed in my smartest suit, the only one I had. Since it didn't have a fancy label, I felt like I might as well have been wearing casual clothes given the way I was treated. I took the elevator with an older couple who clearly didn't appreciate being in close quarters with someone like me. I felt a bit pleased when their eyebrows raised as I swiped my keycard and pressed the executive button. I tried not to smile too much as they got off at the 5th floor. The elevator moved upward and chimed when it reached the top. I stepped into a wide, fancy corridor with seating areas, tables with snacks, and hotel staff standing neatly like guards. 2 hallways branched off on either side with what looked like guest rooms. In front of me, there were 2 sets of grand double doors. The closest door had a sign that read, "Maeve White, Conference." A young man at the door asked, "Executive card, sir?" I showed him the key card from the receptionist, hoping it was what he wanted. He glanced at my flowers and chocolates and then opened the door for me. I wasn't sure why I stepped inside, but I had 50 minutes to wait, so I thought it wouldn't hurt. I planned to stand at the back of the conference and see what May dealt with every day. The room was big, almost like a church hall. It was full of reporters typing on their laptops and journalists taking notes or recording their voices. Cameras were set up along the walls, and there was a raised platform at the front. The room was crowded, and I couldn't find a free seat, so I stayed at the back, trying to blend in. The platform was empty until Nikki and Craig entered from the side. The room went silent. They sat at the ends of the table, leaving the middle seat open. Then Alfred walked in, looking bored. He stood behind the table, not quite sure where to go. Next, May walked out, but she looked different. It was Maeve White. Her hair was slicked back and she had on a lot of makeup. She was very pretty, but it didn't compare to the natural beauty I loved in May. To look like Maeve White, she wore tall boots, a short skirt, and a tight top. May was stunning, but this person on the stage felt like someone else. She sat at the middle of the table and flashed a smile that didn't reach her eyes. The cameras started clicking away, sounding like a swarm of insects. I felt sorry for Maeve White. She seemed like a showpiece, put on display by everyone around her. I could hardly believe she had to do this every day. Her gaze was distant as she adjusted her chair and moved the microphone closer. Craig smiled at the crowd, looking pleased. So, over to you. Hands shot up from all sides. He pointed to a man nearby. Yes, you. The man stood with a notebook. Maeve, your time in the city is almost over. How has it been for you? A spark lit up in May's eyes, and I caught a glimpse of the real May and the genuine smile she gave for the first time since she arrived. It's been the best experience of my life, she said. I couldn't help but smile back. We were the only two in the room who knew the truth behind her words. Craig and Nikki didn't look pleased with her reply. Craig quickly pointed to a woman who jumped up as if surprised. Does your experience have anything to do with the mystery man you were seen with? May's energy faded, and her smile disappeared. No, it doesn't. I knew why she couldn't talk about me. It was painful to hear her deny it, but I understood. This was part of her life as Maeve White, keeping us both safe from the media's fire. Who was he? Someone yelled. May waved her hand. Oh, just a nobody. A nobody? May laughed, but it wasn't the joyful laugh I knew. Yes, just a random person I ran into. And what about the rumors of Marc Lavalier? People say he has spoken very highly of you. My heart sank. Why was the man who caused my troubles now part of this? I clenched my fist and listened to May's response, my heart racing in my chest. I've never met him, so any rumors are just made up by bored people, May said. And what if he was interested? The reporter continued. May's jaw tightened. I'm not looking to date anyone right now, and I'd appreciate it if... Nikki interrupted with a sly smile. What Maeve means is she's flattered by the attention from a handsome and successful man. We've been waiting for the right moment, and now seems like a great time to share some exciting news. Craig stepped in. When we first decided to stay here for an extended time, we faced a lot of doubt. No artist as popular as Maeve White has done this outside of Vegas. But Maeve White is different. We've spent a month here breaking records and filling the Hope Stadium every night. To celebrate our success, we are hosting a farewell event at the Lion State Hotel on the last night of Maeve's time in this wonderful city. Mark and many other celebrities are invited. We'll share more details soon. No! May shouted, surprising everyone. Craig and Nikki's smiles faded for a moment, then they remembered the cameras and quickly smiled again. That's all for today, Craig said quickly. Maeve isn't feeling her best right now. It's been a long tour. We'll send out information about the event soon. May looked like she might cry. I tried to get through the crowd to reach her, but Alfred had already pulled her away. I had 10 minutes until my meeting, and the room was emptying quickly. Frustrated, I left with the crowd, but took a turn down the corridor away from the elevators. I took out my phone and sent May a quick message. I'm in your hotel, meeting with the managing director on the top floor. Send me your room number. I need to see you afterward. I care about you. I silenced my phone and walked to the end of the hallway, where the general manager's office was marked by a plaque. Not wanting to make a poor impression by showing up with gifts, I hid them behind a sofa. I put thoughts of May and Maeve aside and knocked on the door. A serious man in a gray suit answered, sizing me up with his eyes. I extended my hand with a smile. Hi, Mr. Gendry. I'm Jim from the Smooth Fitness Group. We have a meeting scheduled. He took my hand with a firm grip. Yes, we do, Jim. Please, come in. He led me into a large office that had a lounge area, kitchenette, and great views of the stadiums. There was an office area with a standard desk and chairs, but he walked over to one of the sofas in the lounge area and gestured for me to sit. Would you like something to drink? He asked as I settled in. Water would be great, thank you. He poured 2 glasses and handed one to me. After taking a sip, he said, Okay, let's get right to it. Your proposal is solid, one of the best I've seen, but there's an issue. We have a gym here, and sending our clients to you doesn't help us. I understand, sir. I know you have a gym. However, the equipment is quite old and mostly suitable for casual use, which is unusual for a hotel of your caliber. Your hotel is among the best in the city, yet your gym falls short compared to your competitors. The clients who would use my gym are different from those who would use yours, and those who'd choose my gym won't find much use for the equipment you offer. Your use of the gym wouldn't go down, and your clients would enjoy a top-notch gym with spa amenities. Mr. Gendry seemed a bit impressed, but still skeptical. I see you've thought this through, Jim, but I still don't understand how this helps the hotel. The financial gains seem to benefit you more. I smiled, confident in my response. Look at the documents I shared. Since the concert started, the gym has seen a lot of new faces. Many of those guests would likely stay at hotels nearby, meaning there's real interest in the gym and spa. When someone is choosing a hotel, which would they prefer? One with a small, outdated gym or one linked to the best gym in the city? Mr. Gendry took a sip of water before responding. 50%. The hotel gets half of the profits from your plan. I stood up and extended my hand. It was great to meet you, Mr. Gendry. You can reach me if you change your mind. What do you mean? Nothing. The proposal doesn't mention sharing profits. The gym will chart its financial success easily, but it's hard to quantify how many guests choose your hotel because of this plan. I already have other hotels interested and hope to add your esteemed name to the list. Have a good day. Okay, you clever negotiator, he said, a slight smile appearing. I'll forward the proposal to my superiors with my recommendation. You've got talent. If you ever need a job, come see me first. I will. Thank you, sir. I shook his hand and left the room, feeling satisfied with my meeting. But as soon as I closed the door, worries about May returned. I quickly checked my phone and saw a message from her. Jim, I need to see you. My suite is the Gaia suite. Turn left at the elevators and follow the corridor. I love you. I grabbed my flowers and chocolate and hurried to the elevators. After turning left, I found a hallway lined with rooms named instead of numbered, which I found odd. May's suite was about halfway down, but Alfred was guarding it. He walked toward me as soon as he spotted me. I'm here to see May, I said. She knows I'm coming. He stood firmly in my way. Maeve isn't seeing visitors right now. Leave or I'll call security. May was upset, and Alfred was trying to block me from seeing her. I took a deep breath and adjusted my flowers. Go ahead and call them. I'll ring May myself. Now, will you move, or do I need to go around you? My words were a bit harsher than I intended, but my patience was wearing thin. Alfred reacted quickly, grabbing my arm and pushing his knee into my thigh, causing me to fall to the ground. I rolled back and sprang to my feet. I felt like fighting him, but just then May opened her door to see what was going on. Jim! What? Her eyes darted between Alfred, who had a defensive stance, and me, trying to hide the pain in my thigh. Alfred, what did you do? I'm just following orders to keep anyone from bothering you, he replied. May looked furious. You will never stop Jim from seeing me. If you touch him again, I will make sure you lose your job and struggle to find work for the rest of your life. Alfred smirked at me. I don't work for you. My contract is with Nikki and Craig, so I don't have to listen to you. If you want to fire me, talk to them. I quickly picked up the remains of my flowers and the crushed chocolates while May stormed past Alfred, grabbed my arm, and pulled me into her room. She slammed the door in Alfred's face and turned to me. Jim, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? What happened? I walked as normally as I could into a large lounge filled with a dining table, pool table, couches, and chairs. The room was decorated in whites and blues that might impress an artist. It's nothing, just a bump on the leg, I said. I sat on the sofa, and May noticed the ruined flowers and chocolate. I offered them to her. Sorry, they didn't survive the guy outside. May's face changed as she took them and carefully placed them on the table. Then, she jumped into me and buried her head on my shoulder. I'm so sorry, she exclaimed. I hate this. I hugged her tightly, kissing the top of her head. She was in comfortable clothes and her hair was damp. Her makeup was gone, and the real May was back. She held on to me tightly. She sat up and held my hand. Why do you stay with me? she asked sadly. Because you're the most amazing person I've ever met, and there are so many reasons. Why do you ask? Because you do all these nice things like bring me chocolates and flowers. Look at the trouble it brings you. It's not fair. Tears filled her eyes. If you were with someone else who was normal, you wouldn't have to deal with this. You could have someone you could show to everyone. Her head dropped, and her hair covered her face. I gently pushed it back and lifted her chin. I don't want anyone else, I want you. I love everything about you. I would do anything to keep you happy. Nothing else matters to me. I wiped a tear from her cheek. I saw your conference today. Her face went pale. I'm sorry, I said. I saw the sign and decided to go in while I waited. Did you see everything? Yeah, I admitted. May looked down again. If you want to go, I will be heartbroken, but I understand. I thought about what Marie would say if she was there. I flicked May's earlobe playfully. Hey, what was that for? She said, rubbing her ear. I'm stopping you from being sad. If you think I'm leaving you because of things that aren't your fault, you're wrong. Or I'll flick your other ear. A smile crept onto May's face, but she tried to keep her frown. But I flicked her other ear before she could finish. Next time it'll be embarrassing, I teased. May's frown melted away into a smile. Okay, I'll behave, she said, snuggling back into me. The scent of roses surrounded me. So, about the press conference, she started nervously. It made me appreciate you even more. I saw the challenges you face, and I can't believe you deal with this every day. I've said it before, but you're the most amazing person I've ever met. May nestled closer to me. But the questions, the things they said, how did you put it? They're just stories made up by bored people. That's why I wanted to talk to you. Some of the things I said about you were awful and they made me feel terrible. I had to say those things to protect us. I know that, and I understood it then. It wasn't nice to hear, but I get it. The person on that stage wasn't really you. That wasn't my May. But you know what was harder than hearing that? Seeing how unhappy you were. You've always brightened my life, but up there your light dimmed a bit. May nodded and leaned against me. You're right. I haven't felt like myself for a long time. I feel like a leaf tossed in the wind with no control. The event they announced on the last night is a perfect example. I was planning to spend that evening with you, and now that seems ruined. Can you say no to going? They can't force you, right? May straightened up. That's another reason I wanted to talk. I think I want to stop performing. A wave of happiness and guilt rushed through me. At first, I was happy because it seemed like we could have a future together. But then I wondered, was she doing this for me? Had I pushed her to give up her dreams for me? I know what you're thinking, May said with a small smile. No, I'm not stopping because of you. I won't lie and say you don't matter to me, but it's more than just that. Being with you has shown me how empty my life has felt. She took my hands and spoke passionately. I want more, Jim. I want to wake up excited about my day. I want the life that Marie had with Bob. I want a family and everything that comes with it. I'm not stopping for you. I'm stopping for me, please believe that. I paused for a moment. May's choice to leave her current life changed everything for us in a good way. My heart wanted to jump with her and embrace our future, but my mind urged caution. Such a big change would come with challenges. Say something, Jim. What are you thinking? I will stand by you no matter what. The future you described is what I dream about every night. But we need to think about how to make this work. What about your contracts? What about the money and fame? Haven't you been listening? I don't care about that stuff. I've learned something important. Real wealth isn't about how much money you have. It's about how much happiness is in your heart. I would give up all the riches in a heartbeat if it meant keeping the happiness I've found with you. That's my plan. I kissed her because it felt right. I understand that, and my heart knows it's true. But to be honest, it's a worry I've had since we started our relationship. I know it's silly, but I can't help how I feel. I'm a man in my late 20s living in a small old house. I don't have money. I don't have luxury. Ouch! May's flick was sharper than I expected. She smiled at me. How many times do I have to tell you? I don't care. As long as I have your heart, you have given me something no money could buy. I smiled. I could have guessed her words exactly, but I needed to say it. It was like chasing away the bad thoughts put in me by Linda and then Craig and Nikki. I was good enough. I could give May something no one else could. I believe you, I said with another kiss. I just needed to say it one last time to feel at peace. Well, you said it, so no more. No more, I agreed. So what now? What about your deals? I have thought a lot, and I think I know what to do. Craig and Nikki are used to bossing me around, so they do not handle pushback well. I think that is why they attacked right away when they met you. They saw you as a threat. They know you could break their weak setup. They will be very mad when it happens. I laughed. For the first time in the talk, May paused and looked concerned. I pulled her into a hug again and said, "Hey, do not worry. Whatever comes, we will face it together, right?" Yes, but that is my one fear in all this. I do not know what they will do when I say I will stop. I know they will try to make it hard for me, but I do not care much. What scares me is if they go after you. I shrugged to calm her. What can they do? I live a clean life. I do not smoke, drink, or bet. My job is simple and safe. I have good friends, and I have someone I love more than anything. May lifted her head and raised an eyebrow. Someone? Well, it sounds formal, but I think of you as my partner girlfriend or whatever you like. Why? Is that odd for you? No, that is the best thing I have heard. She climbed onto me and covered my face with kisses. After a few minutes, she stopped and her bright smile faded. I still worry about Nikki and Craig. Oh! I picked her up and carried her to the bedroom. She laughed and tried to get free, but I held her steady. Her room was big with a balcony and round bed on a raised spot. I walked up the 2 steps and sat on the edge of the bed. What are you doing? She laughed. I told you a fun lesson was next, I said. I adjusted her clothes gently, showing her close side. To my surprise, she had no underlayer. Her moves had stopped, and she looked at me shyly. I just showered and was relaxing. I reached over and touched her legs softly. That will make our time more fun. She shook a bit. I let my fingers brush gently over her soft spot and then up her back. May made a small sound and curved her back a little, showing more. I did it a few times, each one adding a bit more touch when I passed her spot. Her sounds grew louder. Please, she said out of breath. Please what? Teach me. I was playful. I placed my hand flat against her curve and moved it in small circles. Like the rest of May, her form was perfect. It was soft, yet strong-shaped, yet full enough to move when she walked. It was also marked by 2 small dips at her back base, which stood out more as she curved further. I raised my hand and touched her curve with a firm pat. Small ripples moved across her smooth skin from the touch, and she gasped in mix of surprise and delight. Again, I have been really fun. I patted her again. You have been fun? I asked with a cool, strong tone. It was another special side of our link. We could tell what each other needed and wanted and did it to bring joy to both. Yes, she said. I have had fun thoughts. I patted her stronger and then reached to run my hand up her leg again. As I got halfway up her thigh, my fingers found a drop of sweat. I traced it up her leg, the drop letting my finger slide over her skin. I followed it all the way to her warm area, which was moist from her feelings. May leaned back into my finger as I spread the dampness over her soft spots, rubbing the tender parts on each side. What fun thoughts have you been having? I asked. I have been thinking about our close times. I have to recall you each night before I can rest. I patted her curve again. It made a soft noise as I touched, spreading the moisture over her skin and making it glow. I went back to rubbing her. Good girl, maybe I should give you something to think about next time you are alone. Spread your legs. She opened her legs as much as she could. I ran my finger around the edge and then down to her spot. I pushed it in and began moving it. May sighed and shifted her hips against my finger. Add another one, she whispered. I pushed a second in. She felt snug holding my fingers as I moved them in and out. Do you want a third, my dear friend? Yes. I pushed a third in, stretching her a bit. She groaned and moved her hips against me harder. So what other fun thoughts have you had? I asked. May paused. I do not want you to be angry, she said softly. I will not be angry, but I cannot promise I will not guide you after. I kept moving my fingers. I sometimes think about Sam's idea, she said. What idea? I asked, moving my fingers quicker. Ah, for us to see her. May sighed. I want to see her reach her joy again. I pulled my fingers out and placed my hand over her curve again. That is fun. Would you like me to rub you while you watch? May could only say, "Oh," in reply. I patted her curve. Lay on the bed. She did as I asked, fast taking off her top too. Her chest moved as she lay on her back, parting her legs and gazing at me with deep want. I placed myself near her. "You did not answer me," I said. "Yes," May cried as I entered her space. "Yes, what?" "Yes, I want you to rub me while I watch them." I moved inside and began sharing with her in long, firm ways. We were caught up in each other. May grabbed me and pulled me near, kissing me as I kept going. "You are my fun one, are you not?" I asked as our joys grew. "Yes, I am your dear, all yours." "And you will do anything I ask, will you not?" May was close to her peak. I could see the warm color on her chest and feel the grip around me. "Yes, dear, I will do anything you ask." I leaned forward, going stronger. I raised her joy until she was right there. I leaned down, knowing my next words could start it. I brushed her ear and whispered, "I am going to share with you while you watch Sam reach joy." "Oh!" May tensed and wrapped her arms around my back. Her fingers pressed into my skin as she felt her high point. I shared with her strongly until I felt her relax, and she lay breathing hard below me. She smiled at me playfully, and then rolled me onto my back. Her warmth stayed as she sat close and settled with a sigh. I started to move, but she stopped me with a hand on my chest. "No, it is my turn now," she said. She started with slow shifts, moving gently inside. She closed her eyes as if enjoying the moment, and then began moving in slow ways. Her chest rose and fell as she sped up. I tried to hold her, but she took my hands and held them above my head. She touched from my neck to my ear and whispered, "I am going to share your joy with mine." A spark ran through me as she went faster. Her moves came down with soft sounds and her chest touched me. It felt perfect. "Is that good, dear?" she asked, breathing deeply. "It is great," I said. I could feel my peak coming. "Share with me, Jim. I want to spend the day with it close to me. I want to face the world knowing I am yours. Make me yours, dear." My body tensed and my hips rose as I reached my high. I gave deeply inside her. May did not stop moving until my joy ended. Once my shakes stopped, May stayed close and rested on me, getting comfy. I raised my eyebrow in question and she laughed. "I meant it. I want to feel your warmth with me all day. I love how fun and sweet you are at the same time." May glowed again. "Well, get used to it," she said. We stayed there for a bit, enjoying our closeness. When we relaxed, she slowly moved away and helped clean up gently. She got off the bed and put on her clothes quick and gave me a fun wink. We dressed and had food brought to the room. I had the day off for the talk, and Sam ran things at the gym, so I was not in a hurry to go back. We sat on the balcony in the spring sun and thought about what our future might be. May bit the end of a strawberry and watched me. She was thinking hard, so I waited for her to speak. "I think I have a clever plan," she said in a cute way. "And what is that clever plan?" She smiled. "I need to figure some things before I tell you, okay?" Okay. Just make sure there is no risk of you getting hurt or your life getting harder, okay?" May gave me one of her sweet smiles. "Oh no. After my clever plan, my life will get much easier." I could have spent the whole day with May, but she had tasks to do and tough meetings with Craig and Nikki. I kissed her and touched her gently before I left, reminding her that though I was not there, I was still with her. After I said that, she felt better about the meetings. I went back to work and sent a note of my meeting to the top bosses. A knock on the door came before a very happy Sam came dancing into the room. "You are happy today," I said with a smile. Sam sat on my desk. "Why not? I love my job, I have the best friend ever, and I have an even better friend. Life is very good." She poked my chest with each word. "Good, you deserve it. How is Alice?" "So good. I know it is fast, but we have been together a few months now, but I think I love her." I laughed. "I don't think it's rushed at all. It may have happened quickly, but that's okay. If it's meant to be, it will be. Just look at me and May." Sam shook her head. I never would have believed that the sad man I spoke to after that weekend is the same one sitting here now. Look at us, two people in love." We chuckled together, and Sam said, "You know, you were really nice to Linda in the divorce. I would have been furious." I shrugged. "No matter what she did, she's still the mother of my kids. If I reacted poorly, I'd hurt them too." I rubbed my chin. "But I think there is more to it. I don't believe someone should find their happiness in others' pain. It doesn't feel right. The best thing anyone can do is to move on and find true joy in their life. That's what counts, right? Revenge might bring some short-term satisfaction, but it doesn't last." "You're too nice," Sam laughed. She added, "Still, it would make a good story, wouldn't it?" I smiled. I bet some people would think that. Emma and Tommy were excited to see me in the house. I picked them up after work and showed them their room and some updates May and I made to the living room. I made them promise not to tell Marie. We had a surprise for her later. The kids wanted to stick around to see it, but I explained it would be too late for them. Tommy and Emma had gotten close to Marie. She had a way of getting them to do what she wanted without any fuss, and they would run to her for hugs each time they came in. On a previous visit, I had made the mistake of showing them the garden from my bedroom window. To them, it was a grand adventure. The wild garden seemed full of mysteries they wanted to explore. So every time they visited, they asked when we could go look around. They had just finished a meal that Marie had made when Emma tried her best trick to get into the garden. She jumped on my lap and looked up at me with her big, round eyes. "Daddy," she said slowly, her little mouth curving into a smile. "Yes," I replied, knowing what was coming. "You know how much you love me and Tommy." "Yes." "Could you be the best daddy in the world and take us, please?" Marie helped Tommy down from her chair, and he ran around the table to join in. He grabbed my hand and tugged it. "Please?" Marie laughed. "They've got you, Jim. I think you're outnumbered." I sighed. "You're right, but is it safe? As you can see, the garden hasn't been visited in years. It used to be beautiful. If you're taking them, you'll probably need extra help. 1 adult per child." She gave me a knowing look. "Their room is almost ready. Why don't you think about having them over for Friday night?" "Do you think the extra help would be okay with that? It's very soon." I tried not to show too much. Emma's eyes were flicking between me and Marie, clearly thinking hard. "You won't know until you ask. I wouldn't usually suggest meeting this quickly, but we can both see something special is happening. They'll meet sooner or later." "Meet who, Daddy?" Emma asked. Marie burst into laughter. "She is sharper than you." I rolled my eyes and poked Emma in the side, making her giggle and wiggle. "You are too curious for your own good. Okay, Tommy, come here." I reached out my arm and lifted him into my lap. Soon he would be too big for this, and that made me a little sad. Having my two little ones close was something I always enjoyed. I kissed each of them and said, "All right, let's make a plan. If Marie agrees, how about staying over on Friday night and exploring the garden on Saturday?" Just as I expected, they cheered and hugged me tightly. Once they settled down, I continued. "First, I need to check with Mummy that it's okay, but I think she will be happy to have a quiet weekend." "Hey," Emma said, poking me in the side and trying to make me laugh. "Be careful," I told her. "You and Tommy may be getting bigger, but I can still tickle you both. Also, we will have some rules to go over before we head into the garden. It might not be completely safe, so you have to promise to follow them." They shouted, "We promise!" I kissed them and gently set them down. "Okay, I'm going to give you 20 seconds to hide, then I'll come find you. You can't go into any rooms with closed doors, and you can't go outside. 20. The pair squealed and ran off as quickly as they could. After we played several rounds of hide and seek, I took them back to Linda's house. When I dropped them off, we had a quick chat about the weekend. She was more than happy for the kids to stay with me on Friday night, and we picked a time for them to come back on Saturday. It felt strange to see her again. Years of friendship and marriage didn't fade easily, but her actions had changed how I felt about her. After she left, she felt like a stranger to me. I picked up May on the way home. As soon as she got in the car, I sensed something was wrong. She hugged me tightly and held on for a while. "What's wrong?" I asked, gently rubbing her back. "Just let me hold you for a moment," she replied. I held her until she let out a happy sigh and pulled away. I love your hugs, but what happened? Oh, just the usual, she said. Craig and Nikki stuff. Want to talk about it? Later, I just want to forget everything and enjoy our time together. We also need to think about Marie's surprise. I don't want to spoil it by feeling down. Then let's find a way to make you smile, I said. I held her face in my hands and began giving her lots of small kisses, just like she had done earlier. I kissed her nose, cheeks, and forehead, and I didn't stop until I heard her laugh. When I finished, May was smiling again. I winked and stepped back, listening as she hummed a cheerful tune. When we got home, Marie was waiting for us in the kitchen. She had been told not to cook and to wait for us. When we walked in, she had her arms crossed and didn't look too pleased. Okay, what are you two up to? You both look so happy, she said. May hugged her and said, It's nice to do something special for you for a change. Now, I'm going to cook, and then we're going upstairs to get dressed nicely. Why should we dress up if we're eating here? Ah, just wait and see, May said excitedly. The evening was May's idea. She had given me the list of things to buy, including a bottle of wine, and had planned everything out. My main responsibility was later in the evening, so for now, I just needed to stay out of the way. We sent Marie from the kitchen with instructions to take a nice bath while we got started. I helped May lay out the ingredients, but she wanted to do the cooking herself. It was the first time she was preparing a meal on her own, and she wanted to do it right. I kept her company but didn't talk too much since she looked so focused. Once the food was in the oven, she went to help Marie get ready. I set the table, opened the wine to let it breathe, and then went upstairs to change into nicer trousers and a shirt, both of which were starting to look a bit worn. I tried to make myself look decent by running a comb through my hair, but it didn't help much, so I left it messy and returned to the kitchen to wait for their arrival. I heard their heels clicking on the floor as they came in, and then May peeked around the corner. I had lit candles and placed them in the center of the kitchen island with glasses, plates, and cutlery arranged neatly. The warm, flickering light made the room feel inviting, and the aroma of May's cooking filled the air. Marie looked lovely in a flowing navy blue dress, and her hair, usually in a bun, flowed down her back. May had done her makeup and added a sparkling necklace that made her look regal. Though May wasn't in formal clothing, she still shined in a simple, fitted dress that caught my attention. What's all this about? You shouldn't have gone through so much trouble for me, Marie said. Oh, stop it, May replied, guiding her to a chair and helping her sit. I kissed Marie's hand and poured her some wine. Marie, you look absolutely wonderful tonight. Oh, you flatterer. I'm still not happy about all this fuss. May rolled her eyes and checked on the food in the oven. All right, it's my first time, so be nice. She put on oven gloves and took out her lasagna, serving us generous portions before joining us at the table. She raised her wine glass. To Marie, the lady who taught me to cook and Jim to think. Marie laughed and shook her head. You two are impossible. The lasagna was just as good as Marie's, which was quite the compliment. May seemed to float when I told her and blushed at Marie's praise. We enjoyed our wine and talked easily, feeling a bond between us. It felt like a family gathering, and that's exactly what it was. Marie kept asking about our plans, but May and I just smiled and stayed quiet. It was funny to see Marie getting a little frustrated for a change. Once we finished eating, May went off, leaving me with Marie. You shouldn't have gone through all this trouble. Marie, I will give you a light tap if you don't stop saying that, I said with a wink. We did this because we wanted to, for you. You've cared for both of us a lot. This is just a small way to say thank you. It's ready, May called from the living room. I stood up and offered my arm. Marie, would you please join me in the living room? With a smile, she took my arm and we walked from the kitchen. May held the door open, her face beaming. Welcome home, she said, stepping aside to let us in. I was happy to be there for Marie as she cried out and covered her mouth in surprise at her living room, which looked brand new. She leaned into me while looking around. The shiny brass fixtures sparkled. The floor gleamed as if it were a mirror, and the walls were freshly painted. The furniture was new, and the wooden units looked polished. It was a beautiful room. I don't know what to say, Marie exclaimed. It's wonderful. That's not all, May said, standing next to the old record player. She nodded at me, and I took Marie's hand to lead her to the center of the room. May gently placed the needle on the record, and a lovely tune began to play. Plaisir d'amour filled the room, and Marie gasped, her eyes shining with tears. You found it! Yes, we discovered it while cleaning out an old unit. Dance with me, Marie. Close your eyes and imagine you're dancing with Bob again. She placed a shaky hand on my shoulder and the other in my hand. I held her close as we swayed slowly together, the music surrounding us. Marie had her eyes shut, but tears flowed down her cheeks as she seemed to remember dancing with her one true love. I glanced at May, whose eyes glistened with tears. She smiled warmly at me as I slowly turned with Marie. It was a beautiful moment. Marie smiled as she moved gently to a song she had heard many times before. The melody was part of her heart, and hearing it again let loose feelings she had kept inside since Bob passed away. When the song ended, Marie rested her head on my chest and she began to cry. "Thank you," she said through her tears. "I miss my Bob so much. Hearing that song, it felt like he was right here with me. I never thought I'd hear it again." She stepped back and May came over to hug her and give her a tissue. Marie dried her eyes, her hands still shaking. "Thank you, both of you. I thought I would never hear that song again. The lasagna, the wine, the music, the dancing. Now I understand why it was all perfect." She started crying again, and May held her close. "I think it'll help her to bed," May said. "Why don't you clean up and it'll be back down soon?" I nodded and kissed Marie on the cheek. "Good night, Marie." "Thank you, Jim. You've given me a priceless gift," she said, patting my cheek. "You're worth it," I replied with a smile. I cleaned the plates and then sat down with a glass of wine, waiting for May to return. After a while, she came back downstairs. "Is she okay?" I asked. "Did we upset her?" May walked over to me and hugged me tightly. "No, she loved it. I think it was just an emotional evening for her. She was really tired by the time I got her into bed." She raised her glass and clinked it against mine. "I think we did a great job tonight." "Yes, we did," I said. "I can't take all the credit. This was your idea, not mine." May took a long sip of her wine and shook her head. "No way. I might have cooked and planned, but you were the heart of it all. You should have seen Marie when you danced. You took her back in time. She felt like she was dancing with Bob again, and you made that happen. I had to sit with her for a while once she was in bed. All she could talk about was dancing with Bob. Bless her. She deserved it. I'm a bit sad I didn't get to dance with someone special tonight, though." I stood and held out my hand. "Will you dance with me?" May took my hand. "I would love to." I led her back to the living room, and she started the song again. May melted into my arms, and we moved together in harmony. The song touched us deeply, flowing through us like a powerful wave. When I danced with Marie, it felt like we were moving into the past. With May, it was about stepping into the future. I looked into her eyes and saw a road ahead, our journey. I knew she could see it too. The song built up like a swell of energy. I leaned down and we shared a kiss, different from any we had before. It was a promise, a new connection between us. Just as the song belonged to Marie and Bob, it was now ours. Its final notes wrapped around our hearts and joined them together. "I love you," May whispered. "I love you too." That night we shared a special moment. It was gentle and heartfelt. We were wrapped in blankets, our bodies warm together. May was close to me, and I felt a wave of happiness with each shared breath. Our movements matched each other like a dance different from before. We kissed, feeling the closeness of our hearts. Our hands explored gently, and every touch felt electric. After a time, we turned to face one another. We wanted to see each other's eyes as we connected deeply. May didn't look away as she took charge, and we moved together. She leaned forward, resting her body against mine. As her breathing quickened, I felt a shared excitement. We locked eyes, feeling a wave of joy wash over us at the same moment. It was a soft release, washing over us slowly, lasting longer than we expected. When we settled, May took a moment to hold me, taking care of me in a loving way. We lay together quietly, feeling the rhythm of our hearts. She rested her head on my chest, inhaling deeply, content. Tonight was everything I needed, May said with a smile. I gently stroked her back. Do you want to talk about what happened? Not really, but we should. The news articles came out from the press conference. They were just as Craig and Nikki wanted, so imagine how they read. After my outburst, I think they did a lot of scrambling to fix the mess. They were not too pleased to see me. Are you okay? I am now, May smiled, brushing my cheek. You're not too worried about the articles, are you? We know what's true, and that's what really matters, she sighed. I know, but it could make things tough for me. I'm sorry. Is there anything I can do? Well, there is something I need to ask. It's a big favor. Anything you need, just let me know. May lifted her head and kissed me. You're wonderful. I need you to come to the ball with me. I have a plan and I need your support. Even though the idea of spending an evening with the high society crowd, including Mark, didn't thrill me, I would do anything for May. All right, he'll be there. Great. Maybe you can invite Sam and Alice too. They could help with Craig and Nikki. I laughed at the thought of Sam meeting them and wondered how that would go. Sam would be excited about going to a ball and I would feel better if she went with me. I will ask her tomorrow. She has a few weeks, so I'm sure she'll take Alice shopping for new dresses. My fingers paused as I thought about my plans for the weekend. I actually have a big favor to ask you too. May lifted her head. My answer is, whatever it is, yes. If it helps you out, then yes. Are you teasing me? Because that might get you into trouble. May laughed lightly. Oh, really? I might think about that. Now, what's the favor? Well, I'm not sure if you're ready, and if you're not, that's totally fine. No pressure at all. But would you be interested in meeting Emma and Tommy on Saturday? They want to see the garden. It needs 2 people to explore it well. Yes, yes, yes. As long as you don't think it's too soon, I'd love to. What are you going to tell them? I'll start by telling them you're my friend. Once they feel comfortable with you, we can share more. I'd like to do it the right way since it hasn't been long since Linda and I split. I don't want them to think I left Linda for you or because of you. I want to avoid them being confused with all these new changes. I chuckled. That said, Emma and Tommy really like Marie in the house, so they've taken the changes well so far. May nodded. They're your kids, so we'll go along with what you decide. Just tell me what you need me to do or not do, and I'll make sure everything goes smoothly. Thank you. You're wonderful. Is it time to take you back? No, it's fine. Just set an alarm in the morning and take me back to the hotel first thing. She giggled and said, By the way, listening to music while we talked was so much fun. That's the end of part 2. Part 3 of the story will be released tomorrow. Thank you for listening. Leave a comment to let us know you're still here. We really appreciate it.